Chattisfying.
Hello, Mother Funsters, and welcome to episode 7 of Chattisfying, a podcast all about streaming and content creation and all the good stuff, all by streamers and people that create content and stuff for YouTube for you, who hopefully, although not necessarily, also creates content and is a streamer. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. My name is Mellar. We are today, of course, joined by our veritable co-host, the Hairy Hippo.
I'm the Hairy Hippo!
Yes, you are.
Wait, whose side am I on? Wait, am I this side?
Are you in this? I'm like,
I don't know.
No, wrong side there, Deck.
Oh, sorry. I'm flipped, that's right.
And this is our esteemed guest today, Sukonami!
Hello, how are you? Hope
Well,
you're all having a great day.
I am very well, thank you. I'm having a wonderful day because today is the day that we do Chattisfying. It's always the best day of the month. Yes, Hippo.
Exactly.
I'm not on top of anyone.
You can be on top of me later on.
Yes!
That's a promise.
Yay!
Oh my.
You'll love to see it.
So let's get straight into it, shall we? So Sukonami, also
Yes,
known as
hello.
Deck. Let's start
That's
by
me.
asking you all about your streams and anything else that you do in terms of sort of content creation. Let us know
Oh,
everything
me.
about
Oof.
yourself.
Well, I'm a Scottish variety streamer. I play a whole bunch of games. Normally, this is the point where I go like, oh, this all this sort of stuff, and I play a trailer video. But I haven't got the video on me, so I can just sort of reenact it. Sort of. No, I'm kidding. No, I've been streaming on Twitch for about 4 years now. Just a hobby. Did it ever since I came out of high school. Probably should have been working on exams, but I was like, hey, let's stream it. It'd be a lot of fun. Why not? And then here I am, like 4 years later, with a crippling addiction to buying video games that I may never play. It's buying video games is my my number one favorite pastime. Playing them, solid 13th, but eventually I got into them.
Wait,
But
what's 2 through 12 then?
Exactly. You don't like it. It involves that man right there. That's all I can say.
Hi. I love this man. I've only known him half
Oh.
an hour.
Exactly. I made the greatest impressions. Dude, it's the shake weight, dude. Look, it's Prince. Nobody's gonna get that reference.
This
This
is-
in the pre-show.
No, that was
Well, we
a
have an
South Park
inside
reference,
joke
wasn't
as
it?
well.
Oh,
Maybe not. I don't know. This is Sneak, either way.
sneak energy. That's exactly it.
Mhm.
That's the one I say. It's kind of like the other one we can't talk about because we're probably not sponsored by it, right?
I'm
the one
not
that's with a
sponsored.
G. Okay, cool. Won't talk about it at all then. But not sponsored is really good. So I don't know how I say it. But no, yeah, I've been creating content for about 4 years, just sort of in my spare time, and I'm not really sort of popped off. Not really popped off and like doing stuff until sort of really recently. Like, after I got out of college, obviously it was more of like a case of I had more spare time. So between college and like, doing stuff, and then I got a job, and then I was like, hey, sort of, I'm doing nothing in my spare time. I might as well just sort of, I play video games. I might as well stream them. And the friends I mainly have friends online anyway, so it's like, why not just keep doing it? And it's sort of it's grown from there. That's pretty much it. But it's one of those things where I don't know. I'd sort of, I think everyone starts off as a viewer. I was originally a viewer for a long time, and then it became like, what, I would like to give that a go sometime. And then eventually it did happen, and I was like, okay. And then I got stuck doing it. I was like, yeah, this is good.
Right.
This is fun. No, but that's I'm playing it for a long time, but only sort of create content on them, the last 4 years or so.
4 years is a long time.
It is a long time. Considering it's like on and off. Like, I normally get there's obviously some certain degree of when you've been doing it for so long, people sort of think, oh, you should be at this level, or you should be doing that sort of stuff, or oh, you've been on for 4 years, you should be like this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's something I think about quite a lot, where it's like, yeah, I've been doing it for 4 years, but it was sort of on and off. So I sort of normally, categorize myself as like maybe 3 years. I've been doing it for like one sort of. I take breaks in between, so
Yeah.
it has been a long enough break to just call it, maybe 3 years or so.
Yeah, I guess. Does that not feel like a bit like maybe a sort of making an excuse for yourself, though? At the end of the day, you don't need to make that excuse.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's a societal thing as well, where people sort of on the platform sometimes. I think you make the excuse so you don't sort of feel as bad when people start to come at you for like being not up to their expectations, but then it's like, well,
Yeah.
why should I, be up to your expectations anyway?
I think
It's like,
it is very difficult, isn't it? Because like quite a lot of the time as a streamer, you subconsciously, you don't necessarily do it on purpose. You'll look at someone else against what you do,
yeah,
and
compare
especially if
yourself.
they've
Yeah.
not been going as long as you and they're doing way better, you're sitting there thinking, what am I doing
What am
wrong?
I doing
But that
wrong?
is
You
a
know, like, how
really
does this
bad
happen?
mindset to get yourself
No,
into.
exactly. And it's one
Yeah.
of those things where I think we all sort of do it in certain ways, but I think it definitely comes out stronger certain times than others. Like, especially I think a lot of people felt that during like Corona, where it was very much like everyone's like, there's new people flood to Twitch,
Yeah.
and all these people are growing super fast, and people that are already there, it's like, well, what have we done sort of thing wrong? But it's just sort of, I think Twitch itself is very luck based when it, or and you put you definitely get what you put into it. Like, if you put a lot of hard work into it, you'll see that.
Yeah.
The more time you put into it, the more you'll sort of get out of it in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah, I'd probably say that's a good sort of recap of how I do things. I play a lot of games that are behind me. A lot of games I play on streamer for the first time, so it's always a fun experience, sort of going through a game that I have no idea what's going on and experience it with people. Because it's like, I think you might find it as well, where you play a game for the first time, or just a game that you enjoy, and you're able to sort of say you talk about the plot. If you're playing on your own, like, you're sitting in silence, or maybe you're reading it out to yourself and that's it. But like, having chats, like, you're talking to them, like, oh, what do you think of this character? Oh, sort of, oh, I don't trust them. What's your opinion? How do you think the plot's gonna go?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a lot more interaction when it comes to I think it obviously makes games a bit more intriguing and fun though as well, because you didn't really know how chat's gonna react to it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So would you say that sort of coronavirus, because obviously the coronavirus changed Twitch quite a
Oh,
lot.
absolutely.
Maybe only for temporarily, but we're obviously still in the middle of it. Would you say that coronavirus did your channel good or bad, or not really either?
I think it definitely gave me more time to focus on it.
Yeah.
So before work schedules. I mean, you worked in retail before. You know what it's like. It's one of those things where you don't sort of get a set schedule week to week.
Yeah.
And during Corona, I was on we're in lockdown. I was in furlough for, I think, almost half a year. I think it was from would have been the December. No, hold on, I'm trying to think. June till we came back in the August, and then off in December again for a couple of months, and then back again. So it was a good like 6 months, 7 months where I just sat and I streamed 5 days a week.
Right.
And I really, like, it was one of those things where it's like, I think if I wasn't a streamer, I would have found it hard to fill my time, but I was playing games anyway, and it felt like I actually had a reason to do things. Because I know a lot of people had like a lot of lockdown. People are like very upset about, I'm losing sort of time in my life. I don't really know what to do. I'm very upset and depressed about it because I don't really know what they're doing with their time. But I think I definitely managed to avoid that, very fortunately, by sort of having friends and sort of being able to just hang out on stream and just sort of enjoy myself. I definitely say it definitely impacted my channel a lot. Yeah.
So would you say then that streaming actually helped you through COVID?
I'd say, yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where I think if you didn't have something to occupy yourself with, it's definitely hard. Like, there's only so much cleaning you can do around the house. There's only so much shows you can watch. So I definitely, I sat and watched through all seasons of Twin Peaks during COVID, and it felt like a week, and that was pretty much a week that I did that. But
Wow.
it's one of those things where if I didn't have that time before, I would never be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's sort of using their time for, I think a lot of people try to use their time for productive things. A lot of people sat at home and did nothing as well, though. So it's like I could learn a new language, but instead I spent 1,000 hours playing games. So it's like I still had a good time.
To be fair, if I had gone on furlough, that's probably what I would have ended up doing. I would have thought, I'll use this time productively. It's never going to actually happen.
No,
and
absolutely not.
I think I probably would have been okay with furlough because I myself, I don't get bored very quickly. I'm quite
No,
happy
exactly.
just watching the same films, playing the same games over and over again. So I probably would have been just absolutely fine. But
No,
I didn't get furloughed, so I'll
Did you
never
not?
know.
I thought everyone sort of got either some time off or away
No,
from it. But
literally
no,
didn't miss a single day because we can work from home just as
you work from
effectively.
home. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it was all good.
I was very fortunate in the position where I was, where I couldn't sell donuts from home. So it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to be here.
Yeah. So as someone who used to sort of have when I did stream before, a somewhat of a kind of a work schedule that's kind of similar to yours, where you
Yeah.
don't really know what's happening day to day. How do you schedule your streams, and how do you convey that to your audience? Like, this is what I'm going to be doing.
So obviously talking about furlough, that sort of stuff. I was shooting every Monday to Friday every single week until the end of furlough.
Right.
And went back to school. Oh god, I feel young. Jeez, oh. back to work. Sorry, I thought, well, I was doing this for the last 8 months. I kind of got used to streaming Monday to Friday. So I thought, well, for a good 2 months, I think 65 days to be exact, I streamed every single day.
That was while you're still
I-
doing your current job, which is a part-time job, right?
yes, I'm only working 3 days a week, so it's not
Right.
too bad.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where I had to travel, so it is exhausting going up, going up and down.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where I streamed every single day for 65 days in a row. I was planning to do it for a whole year, but then obviously life comes up and you sort of have to remember to take time for yourself. And I think a lot of people don't sort of, when they have a goal or they want to do that, they obviously feel like they let people down. They sort of go against what they've said. So originally I planned out so I'd have a schedule. It was kind of like a calendar in a way. It was like Monday to Sunday, and these are the days these are the all the games I'm playing. And then after I sort of stopped doing every single day, I took a week break, and then I came back, and now I only stream 4 days a week.
Yeah, because
But
you're
the way I
busier
do
at
it-
work.
Yeah, exactly. Busier at work, exactly.
Right.
And so before the working hours were reduced, and they're back to sort of the normal hours. So it's like, and they're longer, so I can't exactly come home at. So there was, I think it lasted for about a week after the hours went back, where I was like, I would come home at 8 o'clock at night, or I'd finish at 8 o'clock. Sorry, drive home, it'd be 9 o'clock. I stream from 9 o'clock till, I don't know, 1 o'clock just to get through it, and then it was like the next day I'd get up, or whatever. So it was like you just ended up not having time to do anything else yourself. Like it was either, I think it's all fair and good streaming every single day. Like it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, I'm drinking a lot of water.
That's right.
But it's one of those things where if you're not taking time for yourself, it slowly becomes one of those things where it's like you feel like it is sort of your hobby, and it's fun. It sort of becomes more than that a little bit in a way.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you start to lose yourself, where it's like, well, actually, I could be doing this, but I've got to stream in like an hour. But it's like, well, I can just have a day to myself. It's not, nobody's gonna complain about that.
Yeah. I think that's
so it was definitely. No, continue on. Sorry.
No, I was just I think that's sort of a thing, a bit of sort of a place where sometimes, especially if you're in a couple, you have a little bit of sort of friction, especially if the other person doesn't really get gaming and streaming.
No, exactly.
Because the thing is that streaming, as much fun as it is, and it is a really fun thing to do. It's a really fun hobby. It's not me time, and
no, exactly, yeah.
You still need your me time, but quite a lot of the time, a partner, especially if they're not really into gaming, they don't really know what's going on. They see the time that you're spending on the computer as your me time, and you're like, no, hold on a minute, I still need my me time.
No, exactly, yeah. It's like, I'm here doing this, but and after I'm done, it's like, well, I'm going to spend an hour or two just to myself, and then we can spend time together, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I'm alone forever.
So what made you decide, like, what was the thing that sort of set you in motion to think, I'm gonna stream every day for 365 days? What made you think that was a good idea?
What do you think that was a good idea? And what happens like afterwards?
Well, no, I'm not saying it is a bad idea. I'm just saying what made you think it was a good idea.
I thought it was a good idea because it was like, well, the thing is, I'd done 5 days a week for 8 months, and I was like, well, it's an extra 2 days. How bad can it be? And then it was like, well, I've already gotten this routine, like 8 months, a routine of I'm streaming, Monday to Friday. I might as well do it, see how it goes. And I think I tried to do so back last December, because it was I had a funny joke where it's like, oh, it's December, because it's like my name's
amazing,
Deck, and it's December. Wow. So I'll stream every single day of December. And obviously there's one of those days where it's like it's Christmas. You don't expect people to sort of want to hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
But I got 18 days in December, and I got really ill to the point where I thought I may have had COVID, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to go away now for a little bit.
That sucks.
And I got really upset because I was like, here's a goal I want to achieve. I didn't do it, and I was upset about it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, the second goal was, hey, I didn't manage to do that before, so let's try and go for a year instead of just a month, because that's a great idea, isn't it?
Right.
And then I doubled the time that I'd spent. I doubled the time that I'd spent in the December. So I was like, at least I know I can manage a whole 2 months in a row streaming. And it's like, cool, I can do that if I wanted to. But it's all about just sort of time and taking care of yourself as well. So you don't want to you don't want to burn yourself out. I think that's one of those things where I was definitely keen to burn out, and I was like, oh, it's happened before. I got to know when to say, like, this is the time I need to take. This is like, if I stop now, I'm just gonna have a rough patch. If I don't, then it's like I know when to I know when to stop. But I think it's a very mature thing to do, where it's like it's like at the end of the day, this is just a hobby. Like, if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. But I need to sort of take care of my mental health, because if I'm not feeling good up here, then the stream's not going to be any good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people can see that. People can absolutely convey it the way that you sort of. I think it's very much true where if you come into a stream and someone's just sort of looking there upset and down, it's like, are they having a good time? Like, what's going on here? And you're a little bit worried about them. And then if it's just a case of like they're just angry at the game, it's like everyone gets angry at games, I suppose. But I think it's just when you're not in a good mood, it's like, well, if you're not in a good mood, is this really the best place for you to be at the moment?
Yeah. Oh, you can't really put on a good show, can you? If you're in a bad mood. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what a stream really is, isn't it? It's kind of a show, isn't it?
It's one of those things where you want to entertain. You want to sort of be something for people to enjoy and watch. I definitely, when I first started out, and I still see to this day, that I'm very much, my goal for Twitch has never sort of been like, I know people try and get on Twitch like, oh, I'm here for the money, or I'm here for like, to get famous, want to buy followers, primes, and more. That sort of stuff. I was like, no, I when I first started streaming, it was an escape from. I just left high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life, and it was a lot of pressure. I was like, I just want to escape from all that, and I'm going to play video games. And that was my escape. I was like, well, this is a fun thing to do. Why not? And I watch people stream anyway, so I'll give it a go. And then it became more of a case of, I struggle with my mental health. I know a lot of people do, so I try to convey the point of it's. I try to think that I have a warm and welcoming place for people to come in, and then they feel like, if there's something wrong, or if they got if they're down, they can come and talk. But it's like never any pressure. You at the end of the day, you want to sort of give someone a space where they can be themselves and be happy. And if I think my goal is like, if I can increase someone's day just a little bit, turn a frown upside down, as corny as that sounds, I'd be happy.
Yeah. I don't think that's corny, but maybe I don't think it's corny because I really couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like some people think like, oh no, he's just saying it. It's well, no, it's like this is how I felt for the last 4 years. I was like, if I didn't, I would have said it.
So, would you say that streaming positively impacts your mental health, negatively impacts your mental health, or maybe a bit of both?
I would say there's certain aspects that increase it positively. There's certain aspects that increase it, that decrease it negatively.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's a case of, I found something whilst I was streaming every single day where it's like I never had a bad day. I knew that I'd always come on, I'd have a good time and just spend time with some friends, even if it's like, even if it's the same people, even if it's not the same people, or even if it's nobody. It's like I'm still putting myself out there. I'm still doing something. It's like it's better than lying in my bed and being like, well, I'm just depressed today and I just don't really want to do anything. And it's like, I've had those things,
Yeah, absolutely. It's better than just sitting playing the game on your own as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because at least you feel like you've got some kind of company. You feel at least even if you're struggling, you can tell someone like, "You're not having a great day today." Like I can just sort of, I don't know, just feel cloudy upstairs. It's like, I don't know. It's like at least you can tell someone.
It's a shared experience as well, isn't it? Like if you're playing like a solo story game, such as, for example, Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
Or a game such as, I don't know, a game that's very profound and makes you feel the feels. If you've shared that experience, then it can make it more profound, can't it? And it's like we have experienced this rather than just me, and I've experienced this with you. And
I think it's one of those things where, like, take a character death, for instance, talking about Final Fantasy VII. Like, I'm not going to mention any spoilers for a game that was born before it was made before I was born.
Don't even say that.
Did you have to make me feel old?
Jesus Christ! Oh.
You know when the shish kebab happens.
Yes.
It's one of those things where I obviously it's one of gaming's biggest, like, it happens.
Hmm.
And even like still seeing it still gets you, and it's like, well, I'm experienced with everyone, and I'll obviously, well, take that game for instance. I played it for the first time this year, like
Yeah.
the original. One of the greatest games I ever played, actually.
Yeah.
And probably talk for a different probably an answer for a different topic. I know you've got an answer or a question that I want to answer with that, so it's fine. But yeah, it's one of those things where I definitely think that when you're attached to a character, if everyone likes a certain character and you see them get hurt, or you get to see them, go through trauma or any sort of thing like that, it physically sort of hurts. And I've cried on stream at a character dying. I was like, I'm not, I'm connected to this person. I'll show my emotion. I'm sure everyone else is crying behind their screens, but they can't see. I can't see them.
There's
They see
nothing
me
wrong with
cry.
that. Absolutely
No,
not.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I've got a follow-up question from earlier. You said
Okay.
you started to do the 365-day thing just to see what happens.
Yeah.
What did you expect to happen?
I expect myself to. I hope to do it, but at the same time, I sort of expected to. I want to see how it would be good for. Obviously, you want to see growth, and you want to see how it goes. So it's like, okay, I'll do this and see if it grows, because there was something I noticed when I was doing the 5 days a week. It was obviously there were certain days that it'd be like, it wouldn't be as, it wouldn't, you see less people in those certain days. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So obviously I know what days aren't as great. And I think because I always said I did Monday to Friday, so I was missing at the weekend, and weekends are the times where most people are free.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, I wonder if the weekend is a good time to do it. So I did the weekend as well, and I'd see how it went. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's not too bad. And I think it's all about research in a way. Like, you're sort of researching to see how things are, and certain games work as well. Like, you're not too sure. Like, I'll play this game on a certain day. How will it go? And it's very sort of. I think there definitely are. There's definitely certain, not strategies, but there's certain ways you can see how things are going, and sort of just I was curious to see what sort of differences streaming certain days would work compared to others, and I got some findings back, and I was like, okay, cool. And I think I definitely incorporated that sort of in a way to sort of figure out how I go forward with things.
So would it be fair to say then that a large part of it was essentially to see if you could grow on Twitch?
I think it's definitely a keen observation saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to sort of grow, but I think
Yeah.
it was definitely one of the motivations behind it, to
Yeah.
see like if it's going to work. Because the thing is, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while. Like, I stream for 4 to 5 hours at a time, right?
Yeah. That's quite long.
And yeah, it's quite long. Like, other people can stream from 2 to 3 hours, and like they still have the same growth, right?
Right.
So my idea is, or my thinking behind that is, like, it doesn't matter how long you stream, or it doesn't matter how often you stream, because if people are interested in you, they'll come to see you, or they'll come to view it. So it's one of those things where 4 hours might be too long, but it's like, I think there's definitely I wouldn't say there's a science behind it. There's not really a science behind Twitch, but there's definitely certain things that I'm keeping an eye on to see how things work out.
Maybe an art
better.
to it then.
And art, yeah, an art to it. That's a good
Yeah.
way of putting it. I think they're definitely one of those things. I'm trying to think other than, obviously, growth was it. I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, growth is definitely something that everyone wants to see.
Yeah, of course.
But I did it because also I enjoy doing it. It's not one of those things where I'm not on Twitch solely to grow.
Yeah,
Like, if I was,
absolutely.
I'd be doing it, like, I'd be playing all the, which tangents me into something else I want to talk about later on, about certain games that you play on Twitch, in general. But I don't know if you have a section for that coming up.
Not really.
Not really. Okay, cool. Because it's one of those things where there are certain games you can play, or certain things you can do, and it rockets you up, and it's like you expect it. But I think it definitely is hard to grow in variety. And it really depends on what games you're playing at the time, and you can definitely see better months than there's definitely better months happening if you're playing a certain game that's more popular, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say then is the favorite game that you've streamed so far?
Favorite game I've streamed, is that because of the way it's turned out, like, you know, how many people have come out, or is it more a case of like the way I just generally enjoyed?
Why not both?
Well, both, because I think, well, the answer I think is the same for both, actually, that I mention it.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII. Well, I only played it originally. I only played the original at the start of the year, but it was one of those games that I didn't expect to be as popular as it did when I played it.
Yeah.
Because the game's 24 years
Oh,
old.
all right, calm down. All right, we know we're old.
Yeah, I can feel my Zimmer frame coming on already. Come on, let's just, yeah.
Oh, no, the game, you know, the game as old as it is, it's one of those things where it does hold a keen spot in people's hearts.
Oh yeah, it really
And
does.
I-
Like,
It has
Even-
such a loyal fan base
yeah,
on it.
especially among
Even-
people my age as well, because it came out when we were exactly the right age for it.
People your age.
Yeah, and
Wait, is that-
Hippo's not that much older than me. You're only like what 1 year older than me.
I'm
but
very old.
pretty much
I am Taylor's oldest time.
If you ask
Zimmer frame intensifies.
if you ask like all of my school friends which their favorite was, they'll all say 7. Now I actually never played it, so my favorite is 10. But I know you don't.
I don't worry. It's
No,
on the
you
shelf.
weren't
I've
that keen on
got
10.
10 on the
And
shelf.
to be fair, 8's my favourite.
Oh, well, is
I
it?
couldn't get on with 7.
There you
No.
go.
It's the most
Yeah.
controversial one that everyone's like, oh, it's terrible, or whatever, because it's they don't like the draw system. Or is that
I
9?
didn't care about that. I loved the story and I loved Squall
I think
and I was an emo before
one-
emo was cool.
The one that seems to be
My
most
Chemical
divisive
Romance.
is 9. Well, before 10 anyway. Whereas people seem to either love or hate 9.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think every game's kind of like that, though, isn't it? I think it's one of those. I think the story and the characters click with people, and if they don't click, then they're like, "Ah, it's the worst game ever." No, I'm not playing it. No, I don't like it. You know, it's one of those things where I had that with 10. Sorry, I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay.
I had played 7 at the start of the year, and then 5 months later played
I
10.
genuinely think that if you played 10 first, you would have loved it.
Oh yeah, probably. I think it's one of those things where I got so engrossed in 10 in 7 and its story and its characters, and I loved it to pieces. And then I went into 10, and it was a completely different art style, completely different characters. It's like, this isn't what I was used to.
Yeah.
You know, and then I tried to love it, and it's like I was holding it too, like I said this before, like even when I stopped playing, I was like, I was holding it too highly, you know, too close to 7, and it's like I couldn't do it.
No,
That's why I
fair.
think if I played 8 or 9, like it's the same sort of art style, it's the same sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Before they stepped up.
Yeah.
Again. So I definitely think I might get on with those two
Fair enough.
more. But no, I'd say Final Fantasy 7, even play the remake and then going to play because obviously you're talking about how it's such a nostalgic game for everyone of your age.
Yes.
And
Might as well start off my generation. It's probably much easier. Let's get the real insulting out of the way.
don't say that. All I can think about is the Who. Saying my generation.
I was thinking that.
generation.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
the-
the Who,
Your
yeah.
generation even know who the Who is. Behave
I know who
yourself.
the Who is.
Because they're
thank you very
amazing,
much.
Hippo. Everyone
watch
should know who they
CSI.
are.
Yeah. But you talk to most like youths of today, as I like to say,
the
and
thing
they
is,
don't know certain bands.
Yeah,
Like,
but come on, they're
it's-
before our time, so why
Hit-
should we
hit
know
with
about
it.
them?
Yeah, but then again, we grew up with parents who appreciated that kind of music, whereas most parents of a certain generation now that are younger than I would not be into the Who and stuff like that. They would rebelled and gone into different other genres of markings and stuff like that. It'd be more important. I would say it'd be more for like generations now coming up that it'd be like Nirvana and stuff like that when grunge was cool and we were living through the grunge
I
era.
got into
Or I
grunge
was
when
at the very
I was
least.
in my early 20s. I got into grunge. Like, yeah, cool. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Yeah,
I
and
grew
of
up
course, new
playing-
metal as well was a big phase for me. And I imagine when
Yeah.
I suddenly get to create a Spawn, then I will be new metaling the shit out of it.
Nice. Can I just
know.
point out, completely off topic, but Spoonful of Tea, I love your name. My son's name is T.
I love T. She's great.
I just thought I'd mention that.
No, T's a lovely, lovely lady. She comes by all the time. So that's exactly what it is. But no, I definitely say. I mean, the thing is, I grew up with my grandparents, so like I know a lot of. I grew up when I was. This music was Queen. It was Madness.
Amazing.
You're an
like
exception to the rule, then,
I
basically.
mean,
is what
yeah,
you're
well,
saying.
absolutely. And the
Which
thing
is why I love you more and more.
the thing
okay.
is, as soon as I started, like, you know, growing up and listening to that music, I was like ELO as well. Like, a lot of the older
Oh,
music,
God, yeah.
I was sort of, I felt like I was the odd one out at school, whereas like everyone's listening to, like, you know, Green Day or, you know, whatever's cool. And it's
Mm.
like, okay, like I listened to all this old songs, and I felt like I couldn't really speak up about it.
Yeah.
Then you get to the end of high school, and everyone's listening to, like, you know, Queen and that. It's like, Where was I? Like, I was ahead of the trend. And the thing is, it's swapped because I started listening to like Nirvana and Green Day and Blink-182 at the end of high school, and everyone had already listened to them, and it was already the other way around. So it's like it already come back around.
What you're basically trying to say is that you're a hipster. You like to be into the things that everyone else isn't.
I once told my friend that I wanted to find a quaint cafe to hang out, and she's like, "You're a hipster." I went, "I don't want no." Don't say it. I don't have my jeans rolled up and I don't ride a bike.
Take your typewriter.
Exactly. Well, actually, saying that is, I've got. Oh man, don't get me started. There's a man that I follow on Twitter. He's currently building a Lego typewriter, and I really want it. I really want to buy a typewriter, like a Lego one.
Okay.
You can build it. It's super sick.
To be fair, I mean, I'm not really into typewriters, but a Lego typewriter would be pretty rad.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play. All right then. Well, what was the game that you really? What's the game that you really enjoyed, but your community were just like, nope, not interested.
Oh, okay. I went through a phase, and you'll see it behind me. I have 3 copies of Catherine.
Catherine.
Catherine. So
Yeah, no,
Catherine's a puzzle. Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, it's a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Made by Atlas, same people that made Persona.
Yeah.
Catherine was actually originally an art demo for Persona 5.
It's a little bit risque, isn't it? It's got quite a lot of like, sort of fan service in it.
It's very, very fan servicey, very sort of sexual and very like the thing is it's also just a puzzle game, and like that, like the game is 80% cutscenes, 20% puzzles, and that's it. But I love the story, I love the game, and for a long time I just played that, and it felt like everyone got a bit sick where it's like, he's playing it again, are you kidding me? Like, he's already played it. Like, I've got all the achievements in the Xbox 360 version of the game, and I spent like 6 months doing it, and it's like, why? I just love the game. Everyone's like, I think to a point where it's like everyone came in like, you're just a variety streamer, all you do is play Catherine. I know, I'll play something else soon.
Fair enough. But
that definitely started me off a couple of years back, where I started to document the games that I've played on stream, and I have a rule now which I try not to replay a game that I've already played. Final Fantasy 7 Remake being an exception. I really enjoyed that one. So
okay, were you thinking of actually doing the original again?
I probably won't play the original again. The game was too long.
I don't think a remake counts as playing the same game twice, though. Not a remake on that kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a different game, basically.
No, it definitely is a different game. I definitely get what you mean. I don't think I'd play the. See, I thought about when to play the remake again, because I played it when it came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I play it when the DLC comes out for Yuffie, or do I wait until Part 2 comes out and I do 1 and 2 back to back? And I decided to do the Yuffie stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of like, well, I can't replay the game until I can't replay the game at all. Actually, I have to wait until Part 2 comes out. But I don't think the only game the thing is, I'm not. It's not. I'm not used to replaying games. I replayed Catherine. I replayed Persona 5 3 times.
Persona
and that
5?
game's that's
massive.
I have the collector's edition there.
That's crazy. Like that, isn't it like 100 hours each time?
145 hours at a time. I played it
3 times
twice. I played it twice. 3 times. The original game, and then I got halfway through playing Royal. When obviously the extras I've gotten through, I was like, I can't do this. I can't play it for a 4th time. I can't do it.
That is crazy.
So I was like, nah, I'm done. Can't do it.
Yeah.
But they definitely got upset when I played that again.
Yeah.
But then also there's certain people that caters to, where it's like certain people in the community enjoy it, and it's like, well, I know that I'll see them, but not everyone loves anime, not everyone loves those sort of games. There's certain games that I wouldn't replay. I think it's just learning from playing JRPG that's 140 hours at a time. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
So I started to just sort of like play this game, and I think an exception is maybe I'll replay it in like at least a 2-year gap before I replay a game.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be a bad time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But off of my plan of trying to keep it, play one game and don't replay it, I think I beat 34 games last year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I actually totaled them up for
that is a lot
in my spare time, right?
Yeah.
So you asked me, on stream, yeah. So you asked me, I think it was just a DM, a random DM, or on stream, how many games have I actually got? And I've been adding. Have I showed you this? I don't know if you've seen this on stream. Is there a way I can pull something up and show you it?
No.
No, cool. I'll send you a picture later. It's fine.
No worries.
But I have a spreadsheet now, and it's all of these different categories. So I've got all my physical games that are Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and all my digital games that are Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I counted all of my spreadsheet, all of the games. Comes to 801, Miller.
Jesus. And are they all
800
behind you?
No, so I have, I think, well, I know there's 197 down to here,
Okay.
and then adds onto that. So it's about 200 on the shelf, 210 on those two shelves.
'Cause
I'm not too.
I sort of
90
looked at it and I
here
just
or
thought
so.
about 300.
About yeah, I think you're about right. It's like that's about 90 there, and then that's well, maybe not 90, maybe 50 there, 60 there. That's I know these two together is is 200s and 200s. I obviously got my Nintendo stuff up here and extra collector's editions. So I'd probably say about 300 on the shelf itself.
It's now a bad time to mention that I think of the physical media of
Mhm.
all the games that I own, it's probably less than 50.
It's not a bad thing to have. You know?
And on Steam, I've still got less than 100 games in my games library, even though I splurged a couple of weeks ago.
That's where I thought it'd be different. I thought, oh, I've got less than 50 games physically. It's like, okay, cool. But it's digital library massive, right? It's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
really
okay,
not. No.
cool.
I'm
That's
really-
interesting to me.
For a gamer, I'm really bad at buying games.
No, I wouldn't say. Well, the thing is, as soon as you start to buy games, it's like, well, once I totaled them all up, I was like, I've got 801. I went, I got 1,000.
Hmm.
That was my straight idea. Like, need to get 1,000 games. That can be the guy's like, I've got 1,000 games.
Surely then
can
you've
be that
got to
guy.
play 1,000 games. Like,
I went through and I went through my games list that I have on the Discord where it's like completed games, and I went through all of my games on the Streamlit and the spreadsheet and marked them in green. And I don't think I did. I don't even do like 100. Maybe 100 games I marked off. And the thing is, I also have multiple copies of the same game. Like I have 4 copies of Borderlands 2.
why? It's a shit game. I'm sorry.
It's a fucking great game. Thank you very much.
Oh, 2 was terrible. I couldn't get into it at all. 1 was all right. I enjoyed 1.
I have it on the 360. I have it on the Xbox One. I have it on the PlayStation. I have it on the Steam.
I knee-jerk reactions. I probably should explain myself. I actually very recently tried to play Borderlands 2 on my stream.
You did. I remember this.
And I still think, because I played it before with my mate as a multiplayer experience going through the story, it's not bad. But I think as a solo experience, it's awful. I really hated it.
No, I think if you play it with people, it's much more fun.
Way more fun. Like, I actually think that it's more like it's balanced and aimed at someone playing multiplayer. And if you try and play it solo, I actually think it's badly balanced and it's not very well made. And I hated it. I really hated it. It was actually one of the few games that I fully just quit on straight. I was just like, I'm not playing this anymore.
Playing I think the original Borderlands one, the Borderlands 1's better for solo, and Borderlands 2 is better for co-op.
Yeah,
that's how I think of it, at least.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's also one of those things where it's like I feel in a way I have a box of games. Like, these aren't all my physical games. I have a box of physical Xbox 360 games that are all duplicates.
Yeah,
and they sit in the shed. And I'm like, I don't count them. I don't look at them.
Yeah,
I could hand them in somewhere, but it's like it feels wrong selling games. It's like, no, I've got these now. Even though it's like 14 copies of Gears of War 2 or like FIFA 11, it's like they're still mine.
No, I'm definitely with you on that. Yeah, I don't have many, but I do have a couple of duplicates.
And I'm just like, I don't want it's very. I think subscription programs nowadays, like PS Plus, Xbox Golds, all that sort of stuff, like the Steam sales, or like the Epic giving away free games.
Yeah,
it's all about pushing. Like, they give you games to play. Like, they're like, oh yeah, you're part of our program. Like, have some free games, and like that just mounts up as well.
Yeah,
like I know that.
Yeah, I've got about 520 on my Steam list, and I've still got 6 months of Humble Bundle to still open.
It's one of those things where it's like you're getting a whole bunch of games. Like, well, cool, I've got more games to add, but it's like, will I ever play it? I don't know.
That's actually one of the reasons why I feel that things like Humble Bundle are a bit of a false economy, because at the end of the day, you're not really getting your money's worth, because you're not really, because although you're getting a lot of games, you're not probably going to play that many of them. So at the end of the day, that money is mostly just going down the street.
If no, I mean, there's still about, I'd say about, there's 2 to 3 games that I keep on there. Like, next month's one, I really want to do Bee Simulator, which I'm very much excited to do.
You ever seen Priest Simulator?
No,
I'll
but I'm
send-
sure we're
and
playing
what?
that later,
I'll
aren't we?
send you a link. Yeah, I'll send you a link for it. But it's like you're just walking about and you're just doing stuff, and it's like, okay, it's such a it's not out yet. It's mad.
Okay.
The reason I started on Humble Bundle though was because it was a reason for like it was pre-channel points when I used to have my own channel point system before Twitch started doing it, and I would put like the top couple of games off the Humble Bundle as an option for like a loyalty scheme as such to get your hippo points and stuff like that. So that's why I had it. And then I kind of just like, no, I'm keeping these now.
Yeah, the humble
Such
that
a-
kind of thing is quite good for look, giving keys away. That's one thing that is quite good for. To be
But
fair.
then again, you look at like the the RRP of certain games on there, and it makes it worthwhile for me because I'm still only paying the original amount because I signed up when it first came out, so I'm still paying $11.99 a month for it.
Right.
How much is it?
I think it's like 15 now or something, 15,
Was it?
16 or something. But it's still like because they still give like a very good, at least one very good game that's still looking about 20, 25 quid for. I still think it's
yeah.
worthwhile, you know what I mean?
Where,
And it's always handy to have it. So
Only
it's
if
like,
you
for example,
play
I've
it,
got
though.
Jurassic World that I already own because I got it gifted to me, so I can actually give that to
Give it
someone
away,
that
yeah.
would want it. You know what I mean? So there's resources for it. The Epic thing is fine. I don't mind that. I think I've got about 35 games on the Epic Store, of which I've bought about 7 of them.
Yeah.
I know certain people just completely refuse to use Epic because it's like it's Epic, and it's like okay,
Yeah.
cool, but it's like but they're getting free games. Like
I mean, they're more than welcome to take my data and everything because I'm in crippling debt anyway. So I mean, there's not much they can do out of me anyway. So
well,
it's
if they want,
fine.
they can take my debt as well. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just take,
Do you want
take
my
data and
advertising?
my debt.
Buy my advertising preferences. It's fine because I've got no money.
You know
That's
what
why I come to you.
You know what I noticed the other day because I was looking through my Twitch Prime, like my Amazon Prime just came out my account today actually. So I was like looking at the little things you can get on Twitch, like the little
like the 39 notifications I've got at the moment that I've
Yeah,
never really paid attention to.
you get free games there. It's like what? It's okay, cool. So I was looking at that. It's like you have to use their own browser. It's like Amazon Games Launcher, or whatever. It's like cool, but like, you get like a whole bunch of free games through Twitch Prime as well. Even if it's like there was one on there that it was free. I was like, oh, I was going to buy that on Steam, but if it's free on here, I might as well just get it.
Wicked.
Mhm.
I might never play it, but it's still I have it.
Yeah. Good
I
times.
think that you'd be surprised. Like for a man that has so many games, I've never actually tried the Humble. I probably should. And that way, it's because I also can give back in a way. Like I feel like, as someone that I think you probably feel the same way, right? Where you've got to a stage where you've grown this community and they absolutely love hanging out with you and being with you, and you sort of feel like you need to give back in a way, and you don't really know how to.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think that, giving away games would be a good idea. Of like just
It's
sort of like,
pretty much why I did it, was to do that. This is just a little like thank you back to him. There's someone who wanted Formula One 2020 or something, and I had that off of the Humble Bundle. I was like, yeah, don't worry about it because I know you can't afford it. Have it.
I have Formula 2011. It's on the shelf.
Oh, see, I think the last time I played an actual racing game or driving game was Burnout.
Hold on, I'm looking at it.
The original Burnout, though, from when you were probably before you were born. Because I'm old.
So you did that to yourself.
I did, but I'm happy to do that because I have a grey beard. You can't see it, but it's grey.
I couldn't figure out if it was F1 or Formula, but there is F1.
Wait, I just want to confirm then, right? So you're saying that your DVD collection in the background there is alphabetically coded?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
amazing.
I before I so as I amassed them, I took them all before the shelves were put up. I used to have a bookcase. Actually no, the shelves are the bookcase.
Right.
So I used to have this brown bookcase. You'll see it in a whole bunch of clips or whatever, or in the channel trailer. There's this bookcase, this brown bookcase, and when I did my room up, and like I papered all that sort of stuff, I did myself, which I was pretty proud of. Thank you very much. I took some art and design and decor stuff in college that I learned how to like bricklaying and all that sort of stuff. And like I never thought I'd ever bricklay, but hey, papering seems to be useful. I did all this up, and I was like, what I did is I broke up to the bookcase. Instead of buying shelves, I just bought brackets, and I put the brackets on the shelf and I put them on them. And then I remember sitting down. I remember having all my games off this bookcase and just sitting on the floor. I was like, okay, I'm going to collect them in piles, and I put them into a spreadsheet as well at the time, or like a Google Doc, and I just alphabetized them. Or no, I just searched for like alphabetized like lists, on Google. I put them all in, and I was like, okay, cool. So it was this one, this one, this one, this one. Put on the shelf. This one, this one, this one, this one. Put on the shelf. And then as I gained more, I just sort of went there, sort of thing. Just sort of thumb it in. Some of them probably wouldn't fit. Like there's a new one. Like I think the exception to this one is the one I got recently was called Wet. Not too sure what it's about. Just the word wet. Liked it. Has a hot lady on it. I was like, cool, I'll buy it. Got it for I think £2. So I just stuck it on the shelf and that was be done. I might play it sometime. Who knows?
That's so weird. What Ben just said in chat, I was literally about to say exactly that. What do you file Lord of the Rings under? T or L?
L.
L. So all of the other
don't count the T's. If it's there, it's like no, it's it goes the other way around.
That's so weird.
Like, Skyrim's under S, even though it's like the Elder Scrolls. It's like it's not S Skyrim. Right. But on my spreadsheet, it goes underneath E because Elder Scrolls.
Oh no! It's different on your spreadsheet.
Oh man!
What? That's just confusing, isn't it?
Well, it's like I have it physically here. It's like that's fine. Like all of it's fine there. Like it's good, but as soon as it comes to like a T, like there's no other than like it's got the Golden Compass. Like,
well, I think we should probably come to a close quite soon on this and move on to segment 2. But what's coming up soon on in Sukonami? What's the scoop?
What's the scoop? A game that Mellar hasn't done yet because he hasn't got a Switch. Breath of the Wild.
I really want to. And
You're not a Zelda fan if you haven't played that. Even I know that.
The thing is that if you play that, I probably can't watch it because I still don't want it to be spoiled for me because I do want to play it eventually.
I've only played Link to the Past.
Yeah.
I need to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Kenna Bridge of Spirits comes out next month, so I'll be buying that. Still upset there's not a physical release. It's all digital. Like I want it on the shelf. I want to own it. I have a certain way that I like to do the streams or run the streams where it's like I have a main game, I have a side game and a long play I like to do. So it's like at least when I was doing 7 days a week, it was like 4 days a week I'd play the main game. That's 4. I had 2. That's 6. So then the 2 days I would do like a side game, and then one day I play a game I can just beat in one sitting. So it's like an indie game, a shorter game, whatever. I like just doing it that way because it's one of those things where I think if you don't play indies, you're missing out on a whole bunch of fantastic games.
Yeah, absolutely. So
these are cheap as well. So
aside from what games you're thinking to play, do you have any sort of things that you might be thinking of doing? Sort of things you might be adding to the stream, little tweaks that you might be doing?
I do have certain like tweaks. I'm always tweaking my stream. I'm always looking to try and upgrade and change things and sort of make the best possible, layout. It's always one of those things where I'm always experimenting. There's always things. I actually have this little book here. It's my little notebook when it comes to streaming stuff.
Right.
It's beside my thing, but it's like you can't really see too much.
No.
Oh my bad. But it's like I have notes scribbled down about face cam layouts or thumbnail layouts and like anime things or anime night things for the community or retro screens and games I want to do retro things for or like emotes. All my OBS settings are here.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'm terrible at. The thing is, I know that as soon as I get an OBS update and it changes stuff, I'm like, well, I've got them here. But that's the way it used to look, so I can fix it.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Possible stream schedule stuff, SFX updates, that sort of stuff, Discord updates, rule updates, that sort of stuff. So it's like I definitely have a little notebook and whenever. I think I definitely had it for a long time during COVID, where it's like I go to bed. I'd never turn myself off. I would always be on, always working away. So I'm sitting here like, so okay. So there's something like in my head. Like I need to like. That's why I have post-it notes on my desk. Like, I keep post-it notes everywhere, just in case I never know what idea I have. It's just like that's a great idea. Let me write it down. And then it's like because you absolutely forget. Like, I'll go to bed. It's like, what was that idea again? Yeah. Okay, so I write it down, and then I wake up in the morning like, what is that legible? What is this? And it's like, okay, that's what I was trying to say. But there's like the tiniest thing of the thing is I also get very fixated over my stream or like the way things are. Like, if it's not the right sort of thing and I don't like it, then I'm gonna like, yeah, everyone else will hate it. But it's like it'll be fine. But it's like no, I hate it, so everyone else must hate it.
I see.
But I never liked anything I did, so it makes no big difference.
Aye.
Like I get very upset where it's like I remember having an internal debate for 2 days where it's like, do I put the word music for what's currently playing, or do I just put a little disc spinning GIF? I'm like, I don't
Ooh,
know.
disc spinny, disc spinny.
I know, I did. I went for that one at the end. It was,
It really shows how much thought you put into it, and I love the fact that it's actually a written tome rather than like
Yeah.
what I think what most people would do and what I do is a Word document.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's all fun and good, like writing it in a Word document, but it's like I remember sitting in the garden and just writing stuff down because it's like, well, I don't like as much as I love Twitch and the internet and just being a lazy potato in my chair. I also sort of need to take care of myself, so I need to go out. So I'll go out and I'll still take my book with me. And I'm sitting in a cafe somewhere. It's like, yeah, I'm still getting a time outside, but I'm just working on stuff or whatever.
Absolutely.
You know.
Well, last question then before we move on. So, do you
Okay.
do any other content creation as well? Anything like YouTube or I don't know, Instagram or anything like that?
I wouldn't say. I mean, I have a pretty funny Twitter now and again. I like to send some pretty raunchy tweets.
Oh yeah.
You ever worry about that? Like, you ever get big enough and people start using your name in certain things? Like, they start
It's
using
worrying,
like,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
but I
oh, I
mean,
want to play this
you need to
game,
be
but it's
quick,
like
but
my Mellar 21's used. It's like, well, okay, so then use
yeah,
that, but everyone else is like, is that I imagine giant streamers must have that problem. Like,
all the
Amaranth
time.
can't go on to Club Penguin and try and be Amaranth, can she?
That's an interesting thought right there, to be fair. To see Amaranth.
Can I get the
Let's move
name?
on.
To be
I
fair,
can see
most of the
Hippo's
characters I
gone.
have.
Hippo's gone. He's just
I have a couple of Club Penguin games actually up there.
Oh
right.
my god! When it comes to that kind of thing, though, I've, for example, certain games like Minecraft where you have to have your own account. I got that early on, so
Yeah.
and I didn't play it for years anyway because I friggin' hated it at the time.
Yeah.
How I've come to change my mind on that one, I'll never know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
It's
for
really
Club
But I
Penguin.
took that, and to be fair, when I play World of Warcraft, most of my characters are variations of a hippo to a
Yeah.
degree. So I've got Dr. Hairy Hippo as my
Like
druid
Dr.
healer,
Mario,
which
right? Dr.
yeah,
Mario
yeah.
and this Mario, Dr. Hippo, this Hippo.
Yeah, and I got what have I got? I've got my Hippo Rogue, which is called Hippo Roe, because I forgot to put the G into it.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm that classy. That's how I do it. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, I've had my names taken before and stuff like that. And to be fair, if I'm playing privately or something, or where a game's going to show my name, I tend to have a random alias, like an old alias, like my old alias is Karisar, Darren Shah, and stuff like that. that I used to use.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right. Well, shall we move on then to segment 2?
Yeah, go for it.
What's happening in segment 2, sir?
Right, so segment 2, we're going to talk about our stream topic today. The topic is all about basically what game you should stream, essentially, and our sort of thoughts on it, any advice that you feel might be relevant to, I don't know, a newbie, that kind of thing, all the fun stuff. And it's a very broad topic. It's kind of supposed to be. We'll each give our own opinion on it, and then we, if we disagree, we'll counterpoint after each of us has sort of had our say. I'd like to offer, as we always do, to have the guests speak first. Do you want to go first on what your thoughts?
I should go first. Yeah.
Right, go ahead then. Talk to us about what game to stream.
I think that it's an easy question. It's like just play. I mean, the first thing that comes to my head when someone's asked, like, if someone's coming to chat and they're like, "Hey, I want to become a streamer. What do I play?" It's like the easiest question. The easiest answer is like, play what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, don't play something that you don't want to play, or don't play something that you think. Like, there definitely are people that play games, in the sole intention of getting views for it. I was saying this earlier because I seen the street, the topic, and I was like, okay, I need to think about something that I want to say about it. I had a really good analogy. You ever seen the 2004 movie Mean Girls?
Yes.
Heard of it, but
yes.
Maybe. When Katie's going to lunch and what's her name? Is it Gretchen? She's telling her where everyone sits, like, the jocks and you got the goths, and you got the plastics, all that sort of stuff. Twitch is the same way.
Right.
You got your speedrunners, you got your hot dubbers, your variety streamers, and you got the people that play the same game. There's certain things that there's a certain Twitch meta. I think there's certain like categories everyone fits into, and I think that for growth, speedrunning goes well. A lot of people, grow really fast at speedrunning.
Excuse the pun.
You can speedrun Twitch. It's fine. There's a lot of people that play the Jackbox, like very community oriented streams and games. Like that goes fast.
Mm.
If you're hot tubber, that goes
Well, that
fast.
also causes another type of growth. So it's all good.
It's true. That's exactly it. But I think it's one of those things where if someone's coming into stream and they're like, "Hey, I want to get on Twitch. I want to be famous," and that, and it's like, well, don't expect it off the bat, and it's not
No.
gonna, it's not gonna happen. Then realistically, I'm not trying to crush your dreams. It's not gonna happen straight away.
Mm.
I think people think as soon as they go live, thousands and thousands of people are gonna watch. I was like, no.
I still think the best ones are the ones that go live and think that not talking to anyone or doing anything is still going to make them famous.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Minimal effort, maximum
or gonna make
rewards.
me sort of like super big Jeff Bezos bucks. It's like, no. I'd say my biggest advice is play what you want to play, what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Because if you enjoy the game you're playing and you're having fun, people will see that and people will like that.
Yeah.
If it's a game,
Enthusiasm is infectious, though, isn't it? That's
exactly,
the
yeah.
whole thing.
If it's a multiplayer game, you know, you can get people involved. You want to? It's a simple, you know, it's super good. People, you know, want to come back because they enjoy playing with you. You know, kind of like when you meet people online. You know, like for Xbox Live, you know, party members, and they're, you know, not aside from telling them, you know, telling you that they're fucking your mum, and you know, over the mic as an 8-year-old child. You know, actually want to hang out with them and sort of just get to know them better. I think it's a lot of my friends that I've grown up with have been people that I met online. So it's one of those things where Twitch is the same way, where you just meet people and you have a good time. So if you play the game you enjoy, try, you know, I think that if you're dead set on, like, you know, trying to get famous, like, there is a way of doing it. You just sit and you play the games that are most popular, the newest releases. But how many people can sort of keep up with the new releases? Like, new releases change week to week. You know, it's like you see people shift and shift and shift. Like, it's like, oh, we're playing Among Us, they were playing Valheim, they were playing, you know, the Detroit Become Human because it's new or whatever. You're playing this X game. It's like not everyone can buy, you know, brand new games.
That's going to cost you a fortune, isn't it?
Exactly. So you can't, you know, it's not a plausible way of doing it. Bigger streamers get away with it
because they got a lot of money.
You got a lot of money, yeah. What about Bezos bucks?
They probably get the games for free as well, don't they? Probably.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people get their keys gifted to them as well. But it's one of those things as well where you just sort of, you've got to play what you enjoy. You got to have fun. If you want to sit and play Just Dance 3 because it's on the Kinect and you have it on the shelf behind you, then you can play Just Dance 3 because it's on the shelf behind you.
Please tell me you have that.
Yeah, sitting right there.
I love it. I so can't wait to see that stream.
At some point, I hope to stream every single game that's on that shelf, and eventually, it's going to rough around that area where it's
going to take you an entire lifetime. You realize, don't you?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be like 50. I'll still be doing
it. We'll be 75. It's okay.
Final Fantasy 7 will still come out. Remake Part 2 will just come out. But no, I definitely think that's my sort of take on it. Like, play what you enjoy. Don't be worried about your skill at games. Like, I'm terrible at games.
Yeah,
I still play them. I play them because they're fun. Like, I'm not some kind of MLG pro. You don't have to play on the hardest difficulty to get people's attention. Like, if you're just having a good time, then you have a good time. I think that's where I'll leave my point. Where it's just play. To summarize, just play what you enjoy, take it easy, and don't try to get onto a train where you can't sort of keep up with it if you really want to do that sort of thing. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a very complicated question, because it really depends on what you want out of Twitch, to what game like that would be ideal and all this kind of thing. And really, like you say, what you really want to be doing is playing what you want to play. But if you're going into Twitch and what you're looking for is growth, then you're really not going to find any if the game that you want to play is Fortnite or COD or you know, all these games. What's the words? These highly saturated games that there are a lot of people watching, but they're all watching the big streamers, and you're going to have to scroll down and scroll down and scroll down and scroll down and scroll down to get to your stream.
Realistically, nobody does that.
No,
yeah,
nobody does that.
As much as you sort of want to say, like, oh yeah, we could be, it's like, nobody's going to do it. Sorry, but that's that then.
At the end of the day, like, because the way that I see streaming does it, absolutely, you should, like, for if what you're doing is you're streaming for fun, which is what I think the three of us do, and growth is kind of in the back of our minds, but it's very much a like secondary, tertiary kind of worry. Is absolutely play a game that you want to play. Obviously try and stay away from the games that are going to be really shit for your community, because that's the thing that I've noticed as well. Like, when you first start, you can basically play whatever you like. But as you get more and more of a community, you kind of get to more of the thing where like, is my community going to like this?
Mm.
And it actually restricts you a little bit. Because there might be a game that maybe you might want to play, but you're like, no, the community is definitely not going to like that. And
No,
you're
I
like,
get you.
there's kind of no point me playing it because as much fun as I might have with it, they're not going to like it. They're probably not going to hang out. And really, I'm just sort of the whole point is, I want to hang out with my community, and they might not turn up if I play this game that they won't like. So it kind of, in a way, actually having more people to watch you makes it more difficult to choose what game to play. In
No,
a
I
way,
absolutely
not
understand that.
complaining by any means, by the way. It's kind of nice to be in that
No, I
situation.
get you.
But yeah, like if what you're looking for is growth, then you've got to be really careful about what you play. But then the problem is if you end up playing a game that you don't like, that is
And it
like
blows up.
that's like the worst thing that you can do.
Mm.
Because as soon as you start playing a game that you don't really like, it's so obvious that you don't like it. Like almost no one can hide that, and it will turn people off. Like even if they don't really realize what's going on, it'll be in the back of their mind. It'll be subconscious for them. They're like, I'm not really enjoying this stream. I don't really know why, but it's because you're not enjoying the game. But at the end of the day, I kind of like the game. I think is somewhat secondary to a stream because a stream's a show, right? That's the whole point. The main thing, I guess, of the stream is you and the things that you do. Right, all the other things that you could do, like I don't know, like giveaways and chatting about just random crap. That's the main draw. So the game is kind of secondary, but it kind of has to be there. I mean, you can do just chatting streams, but they're a different bag entirely, aren't they? It's nice to have that anchor with the game. So at the end of the day, I mean, I've really found success, and when I say success, I've really enjoyed what I've been doing fairly recently over the last sort of year-ish, and that is getting a short list of games that I think I'll probably enjoy. That also I think that the community are likely to enjoy, and then asking the community to vote which one they'd most like to see. Because then I feel like everyone wins because we get a game that I'm probably going to enjoy because I've chosen the list, but then the community gets what they're most likely to enjoy because they've chosen that game out of the list, if you see what I mean. So
No,
it's
I
kind of
understand what you mean. Yeah.
it's kind of a way to sort of keep everyone happy. I think that's a great way. I think that's a great way of choosing. But when there's no one, when you're literally like just started, you've just got to choose a game that you want to play at the end of the day.
It's really hard not to sort of come in and tell you like, oh yeah, this is how I think about it. But it's like, we say it at the end, it's like it's so hard not to tell you. It's like
Yeah.
I've got things to say to you, but I can't say it right now.
But write it down and we'll go through it. But
I should do that actually.
on the flip side of that, occasionally you'll identify a game that you know will grow your stream in terms of numbers, right? But just doing that doesn't necessarily mean that's a good idea. For example, I not that long ago streamed one stream of Five Nights at Freddy's, and my numbers were ridiculous for that stream, really good, right? But it's like all these people came in, and they're not necessarily, they're all new to the community, but they weren't really, obviously because they're not really a part of the community because they've only just joined. They only stayed for that one stream, and to be honest with you, obviously not all of them, not even most of them, but some of them are kind of a pain, right? Because that's the community that follow that game.
No, I get you.
And it's quite similar, and we were talking about this with Lol Thulu. It didn't used to be, but it isn't kind of now with Undertale. Undertale is a game that if you stream it, you are highly likely to get a lot of follows, but you're highly likely to want to poke your eyes out with a sharp stick afterwards because of the kind of, like, again, generally speaking, the kind of community that you get.
Yeah.
So numbers really, for the kind of streamers that I think, well, that definitely I am, but I think that we are, I don't think numbers are necessarily that important. What's more important is the community that you've already got.
No,
And
exactly,
basically
yeah.
making sure that they are happy, and the hope that if you do that, more people will come. I guess.
Yeah.
Does that
Well,
make
I see where you're
sense?
coming from. Yeah. I've also a point that I was going to talk to you about earlier, but I've written something down. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm thinking away. I'm thinking away. Don't you worry.
All right. Well, I'm quite happy. I mean, do you want to go hippo, or do you want to counterpoint now on what I've just said?
I'm just going to say, so from my vast experience of Twitch, and it's been quite a journey because I've been on it for a while now. My first ever game I streamed was Mafia 2.
Right.
Because it was a game I really liked, but I wanted to show a friend. It was no idea that I wanted to be a streamer or anything like that. So, and then I stopped for 6 months. And then I came on because I found a game on Steam that I really enjoyed. It's called Minion Masters. And it's basically just like, I don't know, you have like cards of minions, you chuck them onto the board, they battle the opposing player, la 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 la. It's fun to play, it's cool. But they had this feature on it which intrigued me, and it was on the like dashboard of the game. I don't know, the main menu kind of thing. It had a little box at the top right, and it said featured streamer. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. What's that about? And no one was on it. And I was like, well, how does that work? And what it did was it would show the person who had the most viewers who were streaming that game directly into the game.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And on my first official night, which was a Sunday night, and I thought, sod it, I'll give it a bash. I launched up the stream. I downloaded OBS because I didn't really have the. I had OBS, but like wasn't set up properly for it. I was doing YouTube at the time and stuff like that.
No, I
so,
get you.
World of Warcraft content and bits and bats like that. And so I whipped it up, got my Twitch key in, all that kind of stuff. Blah blah blah. Went on it, and I was featured streamer in the game. I thought, yes, look, I'm famous now, bitches. And on that first night, I had 40 people turn in.
Holy
That's
shit.
amazing.
And within
sorry.
the first month, I became a Twitch affiliate.
Mm.
And on that first night, Swango, which Mellar knows of Swango,
Yeah.
who found me and has basically supported my entire streams since that day. And I still have, because it's grown in a game now. It's definitely still indie, but it's grown in a game. And I did it for about 3 or 4 months of playing this game, and I was really enjoying it. And I did that and like World of Warcraft as a side game and stuff like that, because I'm a huge World of Warcraft fan, been there since like in the first year of it. But yeah, no, but I loved the game. Mini Masters was a lot of fun to play. I was very addicted to it. I liked the fact that when they brought out new cards that you could play on, the new minions you could play with and stuff like that, that you could just like, and it was all buggy and clunky because they were indie and they weren't sure what they were doing, and it was fun, and you could just ridicule them, and then they did all these things, and it was great, and I enjoyed it. And it was a really lovely following, and I was their number one streamer every time I went on it.
Nice.
And I was going up and up and up, and I think I was peaking. I think one night, which was my busiest night, legitimately, because I've been like view botted before, but legitimately, I went up to 180 viewers.
That's very nice.
And it was absolutely wicked. The chat was vibing. I was being a dirty bastard. It was so much fun and all that kind of stuff. And then I dropped Mini Masters because it was the way they were treating their streamers, which amusingly wasn't me they were treating badly. It was other streamers they were treating badly. Me, they kind of ignored, which was really weird. So what they did on this game, for example, right? They gave you like, and I do apologize, I'm digressing, like I told you I would, Dave. So, but they would give like streamer perks and stuff like that, where you could give free keys out and stuff like that, and bits and this. And I never got any of it because I was not content friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a fuck shit bollocks wank person, is who I am. You know, I speak my mind. I'm a dirty bastard. Everyone's a babe. Everyone's a darling. Don't care what gender or whatever affluence you are or whatever. You are always going to be babes and darlings to me because I love you all.
Right.
And that's how I roll. And that is not what I wanted. So they ignored me completely. And I was fine with that. It's fine. I'm a featured streamer. I'm on their page. I don't give a fuck. That's cool. Look at me. Free advertising. Yeah. But other streamers were like getting absolutely shafted on because they started putting criteria. Before they were just like, yeah, have a key, give it away. That'd be great. It's cool. It's only like a couple of quid game, but just give it away. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And then they went to, oh yeah, now we're making some money. What we're going to do is you have to hit this bracket as a streamer, and then you get this reward.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, if you can get like, if you average like 20 viewers a stream for this amount of streams and all this kind of stuff, then you can give away 3 keys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they started doing little like buyback schemes and all sorts of random weird things. So like they would reward you almost monetarily to a degree with like in-game credits, so you could buy the better booster packs and stuff like that. It wasn't a pay-to-win game. It was just like you earned coins in the game, and you could buy the coins as well. But it's still random cards, you know. But yeah, they would give you those perks, and me and Swan and a couple of like, nah, this is fucking ridiculous. Nah, not doing this now. We're not doing it. We love to play the game, and I still would like to go back to it. Out on principle, I won't do it. So I went into a phase of like, what do I want to do? Because I was still variety streaming, so I would do like a 3 to 4 game cycle, and I was streaming 6 nights a week. when I first started because I was no lifing it because that's how I rolled it. And then I was like, well, I don't know what to do. So I went on to other phases and stuff like that. And then I went into a situation of like, I went into GTA 5 roleplay, which was kind of bizarre. I got invited to it, and I was like, okay, yeah. So me and a mate went on to it and said, let's play it. And we found this like London simulator style of GTA 5. Right, where you had Americans with Cockney accents, all this kind of stuff, and it was great. It was very much Dick Van Dyke all the way through. Chim chimney, chim cherise, and all this kind of shit.
Mary
Like, okay.
Poppins.
Yeah, but they changed the entire like world to be like, you know, left drive and all this kind of stuff. Left drive and all... Yeah, they did really well on it. And on my night there, it was quiet on a server. It was about maybe half a dozen people on. And I was having a poke around. My friend logged off, and this guy drove up in his lovely car, and he goes, "You're streaming, aren't you?" And I said, "How do you know?" He goes, "Well, I'm an admin, and I check everybody." And he's like, "I found you on here." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he decided to give me like the world tour of his place and stuff like that.
That's sick.
All right. And then I kind of became kind of prominent in that server, and then got a huge new boost of followings and stuff like that. And there is a follow to this story. I do.
There's
on
a
all
point
these
to
different
this,
stories.
yeah.
There is definitely points.
There's a climax.
And I really enjoyed it. And then I got to a point where I was getting quite popular in that server and very much liked. But there was also with the whole GTA 5 scene, there's a lot of trolls and stuff like that. And I got N-bombed on stream because I used in-game audio. The guy stream sniped me by N-bombing me up and down the road. And the server admin was like, "Yeah, you're banned, and it was kind of like protecting me all the time. And bear in mind, I still only average about like, you know, I say only, it's still amazing. I still get these people, but I'm averaging about 9 to 10 viewers on my streams average. So like, but then when I was doing GTA 5, I was doing 30 odd, 40 odd, you know. And they were all like server people as well, of varying different time zones and all this kind of stuff. And it was really cool.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was like, I can't do the end bombing anymore. I can't have you just protecting me. I got on great with it. Turns out, right, the server owner lives like 10 miles away from me as well. I still haven't met him yet, but he's on my to-do list to meet. All right, he works. He lives in the village I work in, basically.
Oh wow, okay.
Of all the fucking servers in the world to go for GTA 5, I was like, oh my god, wow, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I still need to hook up with him at some point. But so I dropped out of that, went to a phase of I don't know what to do. Then discovered Minecraft, played Minecraft for a bit, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do a different game every night, and I did all these different things. But what I found was that even though there is like cultist followings for games, like when I played Final Fantasy VIII on stream or Freelancer on stream and stuff like that, and they had all these hordes of people who love the game and then they vanish, I seem to have been lucky enough to grab 1 or 2 special people out of each one.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my points to this, is that you got, as everyone's been saying tonight, is that you got to play games you love. And there have been games that I haven't liked, and there's been games that I loved that have failed dismally. But now I don't have much time to play. When I caught COVID in April last year, and I was bedbound for 10 days. I didn't lose my breathing. Mellar knows the situation I went through on it, and knows that I'm still suffering from long COVID today, which is why I took a partial retirement from streaming.
Yeah.
And now come on as and when I feel comfortable enough to do it. Plus, it's fucking hot right now, and I've got a heat lamp in front of me to make me look pretty.
My titties, dude.
My under titties, man. My under
I know.
titties. But it's just, and so I did a stream on my birthday, and I did it, which was last week, and then I streamed on the Friday and Saturday, and then thank you, baby. I'm 35. I'm almost dead. I'm that old.
You're fucking sex for a 35-year-old man.
But yeah, reverting back, I found that I just want to play World of Warcraft. I want to play a game that really makes me happy, and I love World of Warcraft. But I'm playing the classic version of World of Warcraft from back in my youth that I loved so much, not the modern retail stuff, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. So I'll plonk on the stream.
It came out when you were 18.
Yeah, in my youth. In my youth. I was homeless at the time when it first came out anyway, so that was kind of fun, having to play it while on somebody's sofa. Yeah.
Play it on the library's PC.
I was on Windows 98, motherfucker. All right, leave me alone. I couldn't afford XP in Windows 7 and all that shit.
In the library. It's like, oh, here's my library card. Just playing WoW.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, I've not come for a book. Fuck you, I've come to play WoW. But I play WoW, and my community don't care really what game I play. They just want to hang out and have a laugh and listen to me be a pervert and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I truly appreciate. Yes. So Mellar knows that when he comes into my stream, I'm going to babes and darling the shit out of him because I love him to bits, and he knows I love him to bits.
And I love it.
And everybody in the community loves Mellar as well because I've groomed them to like him. And I said everyone needs a token ginger in their life. You know what I mean? It's that kind of
Just
situation.
call me token. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to tick that box off. I got a ginger. I got an Australian now. I'm doing really well. I've got to catch them all. Streamathon.
You can have a Scottish one.
I am.
Yes.
But then, I think that the key thing is to take away from is that don't be disheartened if you're going to play a game that has a huge cult following. If you've got a decent personality and you're a very likable person, which most people can be in smaller circles, in smaller communities, because you have to build that relationship with people anyway to become a bigger, better streamer. More emphasis on the better than the bigger, unless you're eating a lot of things. But no, you're gorgeous, baby. All right, it's okay. But you will pull the people through from varying games. I have got people from when I played RuneScape for a week. I've got people from Minion Masters. I've got people from Final Fantasy, from Freelancer that still pop in, and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I think that's the key thing to take away and to fully appreciate when variety streaming is that you can just play what you want to play.
Yeah,
and you will find someone there.
Sorry.
I was just going to sort of, I think you kind of came to the point that I was trying to make and didn't really succeed in that, like, if you, especially if what you're looking for is all of the things, a little bit of growth and all this, is, play a game that you know you're going to enjoy, because then people are going to be drawn to you. They might come for the game, but hopefully they will stay for you. And that's how you build a community.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Deck.
I was going to say it really is heartwarming and wholesome. Like when somebody comes for like you said, for RuneScape for a week, and then they come back for like, you know, GTA roleplay, and it's like this is two completely different things.
Yeah,
but you still come by the scene. Like I've definitely know people that are like that. It's like I definitely met people from all over the gaff, and they came, you know. They come back for like a game that's like nothing like the game that you come to watch. It's like this is
exactly.
They come in and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just here to like hang out and see how you are. That sort of thing. It's like those people make Twitch. The same, like even lurkers.
Absolutely.
Don't ever. Listen, I detest people who like, oh, who's in the stream today? Oh yeah, so how are you? This person, that person, the next person. Don't call out your lurkers.
Oh, calling out lurkers really gets me. It's so rude. And I actually had a bit of a thing recently because you know this. You've seen me. I used to use this. You know the little Pokemon at the bottom of the screen. It's called stream avatars.
No, I get you.
If you set it up in a certain way, then the avatar will appear as soon as you enter chat, rather like as soon as you went. Sorry, in the stream, before you've said anything. It's so annoying. Like I hate it. Like if I see anyone with that, and I before I've actually said anything on chat, and my name pops up, I'll just leave straight away. Because I'm like, what? You know, I don't really want to talk.
Well, so I might sit here and speak for like 5, 6 hours at a time. But it's like, I'm the most like I don't just say in someone's chat. I have no idea what to say in someone's chat, and it's like. Normally, you know, I'm always working on something that I said before. I'm always working on, you know, trying to change something or fix something in OBS, or you know, just try and set up a layout sort of thing. Because I mean, I know a lot of people buy their sort of setups, like you know, like this whole transition stuff. I do a lot of my own stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm always tweaking stuff. So it's like if I've got Twitch up, I'm always lurking somewhere.
Yeah.
And if it's like, oh, Sukonami, how you doing, my dude? It's like. I will tend to leave this one. I'm not here for that at the moment.
Yeah, no,
I'm just busy.
That's not okay.
Or or I really enjoy somebody's stream, I'll follow them, and it's like I come back and it's like, oh yeah, I know you. Like, you were here, like, you're looking at your day. It's like, yeah, but you don't need to show. You don't need to call me out for it. It's like I'm just here to chill, you know.
Yeah,
I do find that highly communicative streamers though are mainly lurkers in their off
exactly.
time.
No,
yeah.
I absolutely love interactive chat. Like, I try my best. Like, you know, if someone in chat will have a conversation with you. You know, if you want to have a conversation, I'll have a conversation. Like it's more about anything.
Exactly what they're for.
But if we're gonna, you know, if someone's just here just to enjoy it, I think I've had people where it's like, I'm trying to think it was Dark Souls, and I remember the person was called Chuck. I remember that. They came in and we're talking about you know how long people like. Another person I know, Billy, he was like, "Oh, I've been, you know, the followers command." It's like, "Oh, I've been here for like, you know, 3 years, this amount of time." And this person, Chuck, and I was like, "Oh, you know, how are you doing?" Sort of thing. Like, I didn't sort of recognize him. Obviously, they were a lurker. And at the same time, it's like, "Are you 4 years?" Like, but I don't know who you are. How have I, how have you up 4 years here?
Hmm.
But it's like someone. It's like, yeah, I just sit and lurk a lot, and it's like that's the first time that I've seen them speak in my chat, and it's like,
I think
that's
that's
mad to
amazing though.
me.
Like, lurkers are really important. It's amazing to have people, obviously chatting with you, because that's one of the main reasons why you kind of do it, is to obviously have that interaction. But lurkers are so important, obviously, and the point is that even though they're lurking, but they're still enjoying your stream, and that's the whole point. That's the reason why you're there, right? But it is so
Exactly,
nice
yeah.
when someone who's been lurking for such a long time, they suddenly feel confident enough to speak up and be like, oh, how's it going? Nice to finally like actually kind of meet you properly after watching you have all this fun for so long, and bringing me that fun as well. It's so nice. I've seen it before in other people's chat that I've modded for, and it's lovely when it happens. That kind of thing, isn't it? Because it's like you've supported me
All I
all
need
this
is
time.
one of them just to, when they come in first time, just to say, I'm not a bot, but I'm going to lurk for the next 8 years. Is that okay? I'll be like, okay, I know now. That's cool. You're not that random thing that's going to put me in a lottery to get your boosts and stuff. I'm like,
Boost
no.
your commander route and all that
Because
sort
there
of
are
stuff.
people in there, and I'm like, are you a bot? I don't know.
Those for a while,
Someone's
I was like,
raided
those
me.
bots, and I'm like, I'm just gonna ban them. Well, I don't care about your raffles and stuff. I see, like, like, for a long time I was like, who is this like commander root person? And I was like, it's like,
Oh
it's like,
god,
it's
he
like,
was a pain.
you know what I'm about? It's like, oh, he's
No.
always
I mean-
live, and it's always just a
Yeah.
some kind of like code. Like, what am I looking at, and how are you here? Like, ban,
Yeah.
No, that
It's like, I
Commander
had
Root
no
can
idea.
do some really useful stuff though. Like if you get follow botted, then Commander Root can undo it.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I might have to unban commander root.
Yeah, it might be worth unbanning it. So it's there's a lot of people that use it as well. You can actually like, I've never done this, but you can actually request it hosts you.
Oh.
And then obviously there's a lot of people that might be on that channel. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's actually a tool that is supposed to be there for people. I think a lot of people don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. I've just seen someone use it.
I always just assumed it was like some kind of like scheme where they're trying to get you to like,
yeah, like the
whatever.
raffling thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And such, yeah.
Because like I remember going to that chat and it was just F for F, F for F, F for F.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all the time.
But I think those are the users that are doing that.
no, exactly. Yeah.
I obviously I don't really know a huge amount about it, but I do know that it has some use. But there you go.
Might be worth looking into it then.
Maybe.
I went through a phase in, I think maybe it was like 2019, where I was going into these bots' rooms, and you can see in their description is like, oh, you don't want me in your room anymore? Type this command in your chat and I'll go away. And I'm like, oh my god, I have to do this a dozen times. Jesus. They don't come in as much anymore, or they're maybe just lurkers. I don't know. I apologize, lurkers who are sitting in my host at the moment.
I think that will do for section 2. Have we got anything else that we want to say on the topic of what should I stream before we move on?
Was that the topic?
Yeah, it was a good one.
I wanted to talk about certain games. So you're obviously people, you're saying that certain games did better, like Minion Masters and when you played RuneScape. But I found, like even you said yourself, Mellar, that Five Nights at Freddy's, like it boosted straight away, but it's like those people weren't really there for that. Doki Doki Literature Club was the one for me.
See, I really enjoyed
played that.
streaming.
I played that game and I had like 30 to 40 people. I was like, what? Why is there so many people here? And one of like the best streams I've had. But it's like, are these people gonna come back? Like realistically, you're just here for this one game and that's it. There's a lot of games
because I don't feel like I had that experience with Doki Doki Literature Club. Maybe I did and I didn't perceive it.
Yeah, I had to stop playing it.
Yeah.
Because I did the first playthrough.
Yeah.
As one does.
I did 9 hours of that game.
But
in one sitting.
But I kind of stopped out of for my community mainly because I have a few very sensitive people, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got to stop.
I totally
this.
understand that.
And and to be fair, I got really tired of reading out loud as well. Like, this is doing my tits in, and then the happy chirpy music, it just did my tits in as well.
The one thing that I did find with
listen to Slipknot, will you leave me alone?
The one thing I did find with Doki Doki, because of the type of game it is, I did have like I think it was like !DDLC, and it was like this like disclaimer. It was like, oh, if you if you suffer from depression, then I understand if you step away. And Mori was practically spamming it at times because you know what it's like.
The game's dark. The game, like for being like a whole cheery, funny adventure about poetry, it's like it's not.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's a psychological horror game at the end.
The
of
games
the
like
day.
that for maybe an hour or two, and then you just get into like people are doing some dark shit to each other.
The thing is, I've never played a dating sim, but as far as I understand, if you play it from face value as a dating sim, it's actually not a very good one, as far as I'm aware.
I did a charity event with another streamer, another group of streamers, and that's when I played Doki Doki Literature Club. But it was part of like a waifu week I did. I played a whole bunch of like waifu games.
But it's not really a waifu game. That's the thing.
No, it's not. It's like it was pretty much like I was wanting something that was like a waifu sort of dating sim sort of thing. I was like, I played that, and I was like, holy shit, this is dark as fuck. And then the next day I went, yeah, let's play KFC game instead. Like that's a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
No, exactly.
I think there's also certain games that you have to. Sorry, Mel. So that you have to hit as a streamer as well. Like the Doki Doki seems to be the like I think 90% of the streamers I know have been pushed to play it.
That's interesting
or to go through
I
it.
don't feel like
there's certain games.
Undertale was another one that
I'm
not
touching Undertale.
Into.
At least
I
not at the
played
moment.
Undertale early on. Like that was 2017, and I cried playing.
But I think there's like some weird criteria. Like there's like, oh, you're now going to play this, and I'm like, oh, really? And yeah, well, everyone else is playing it. Like Among Us, I still haven't streamed Among Us, but I don't have a big enough. The thing is, right, I could get my community to play with me, but like then I'll have no one watching, and that'll just
bought Among Us. I played it once on stream, and that was it. I played the game once.
So that seems to be another criteria game. Like when Fortnite was before Fortnite, the shooty everywhere thing, and it was the 4-player co-op survival build tower thing. Say the world before they got rid of it and then kind of brought it back, but didn't. That was a big thing back in the day that everyone had to play at least once. The Cyberpunk thing was a big game that everyone seemed to do. Anthem was a big game that people need to do. And it seems to be like certain game criteria that you go through in your Twitch career. That's you kind of go, okay, it's my turn to do this game now.
I think it's important though, especially as what we've just been talking about. Is in actual fact you don't have to do any of this shit.
No, you don't.
You do what you like.
No, but I think it's like as a streamer, sometimes there are games you think, yeah, I want to play it, and it's like it is like the meta stream game that you do.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that sometimes you like even if you're deciding on your own what games you want to play, sometimes it will fall into the meta, like like just by coincidence.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny we're talking about this. This is one of the points I was like when Mellar was like, "Hey, what do you want to talk about on the podcast?" I was like, "Well, there's something I want to talk about," and it just come up back to me there where it's like you're on about how people are like, "Oh yeah, you need to play this game, you need to play that game." It's like, is there a game for either of you chaps that everyone's like, it's a big staple in gaming? It's like, oh, you should be playing this game, you should play that game, and you just haven't. And people are like, "Oh, why not played this?" You know, it's such like that is like a required game, like playing a Zelda game. It's like, oh, you have to play this, or you have to play that, or you have to play the next thing. I suppose like Breath of the Wild, for instance, for you would be one of those things where like, oh, you have to play this, but you haven't done it. You know?
Yeah, I was going to say Breath of the Wild because I'm a massive Zelda fan, but I've never played Breath of the Wild because I don't have a Switch, and that even for me blows my mind. It's like, Mellar, how have you not played this game? And it's been out for like what 4 years or something.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It just the fact that I haven't played it just
it's 4 years. It's still full price.
Yeah, it's still full price. And I will get to it. Like one day, it is inevitable, unless I literally die before I play it.
I hope not. But you were to say tomorrow. Like, I hope not.
Yeah. Well, I say because I'm not buying it tomorrow. But you get the idea. Unless I somehow just die young, and I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play
exactly,
it.
Yeah. You should buy it and then just not buy the Switch. Just have it on your just have it there. It's like eventually I'll play it.
I just sit there with a disc doing that and say, technically, I'm playing with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly. What were you, Hibble? What were you?
There was only ever one game that I was nagged to play continuously, and I was adamant not to do it for such a long time because I absolutely hated it. But I actually succumbed to it, and when I succumbed to it, I hated it. And then I kind of succumbed to it again a second time round about a year later, and now I kind of make YouTube content on it.
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Yeah.
All right.
I hated Minecraft for the longest time because as a sandbox game, and I like sandbox style games like the Valheims and all that kind of stuff, I looked at it and I hate square symmetry things. I absolutely hate it. I like odd things that don't work and really annoy the the OCDers and stuff like that. Thank you. And anyone who's got OCD and stuff like that would hate my channel because I will quite happily have things slightly tilted to a degree. Not when it comes to my actual stream aesthetics, that has to be pristine. But like in games, I like jaunty and messed up things and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And and then you look at the blockiest game on the planet with the blockiest characters that just do
With the
arm
worst
movers like this,
textures.
and I'm like, I hate this. And now I have a single player world that I was doing content for a while, and I hate that word. But like, yeah, I just and I had this like epiphany, like, you can make whatever you want in a sandbox game. I was like, yeah, oh my god, you can. I already know that, but why did I just come to realize this now? And now I do grander scale things and stuff like that. Like, I'm not good. I'm not like I'm bragging or anything, but like, I went on a community server with one of my viewers. They invite me to their server that they kind of moderate, and they said they were setting up a Hippo Nation area so that the Hipponeers can come and play and do stuff together on this server, because I wasn't going to pay for a server. I'm cheap as fuck. Oddly enough, I pay for 2 servers that I don't play on. And then they were building this kind of like Asian architecture tower and sort of stuff like that. And they said, oh, we need somewhere to put the sheep. And I said, oh, it'd be really funny if we had an ark. And then they said, well, make an ark. So I made an ark, and I was really proud of my ark. And it was huge. It was a really big ark, and it had all the sheep pens. And it was all in survival. The community were building my trees up, or growing my trees and chopping them down and bringing me the wood. And I'm like, I'm fucking placing this shit here. I'm like a pro. Look at me go. And it was really cool. And they lived in it for a while. And then I made a gigantic tree, which went up to build height, and I made all the plumage and all that kind of stuff on it.
Good words. Good
Plumage.
words.
Yes. I love plumage. But yeah, again, what we did was we did a hollow outside. We hollowed the hollow of the tree, and inside they were growing the trees, chopping them down, and then like shearing off the leaves and all that kind of stuff, and then bringing them up to me. And I was placing it all, and I made this gigantic tree and all this kind of stuff. And then I started making random things, like I made have I got him here somewhere? I've got like a fake Lego Yoshi with a Mario on it. Like, I call them Flego because they're fake Lego. Like the things you get off Wish and shit like that, right? And I made a big Yoshi, and I made a base inside of him, because he has a little Mario on the back as well. So that was like the hotel suite and the honeymoon suite inside it. And then somebody decided, because I don't know how to do redstone, I still don't know how to do redstone, decided to make an anal insertion entrance. So you press the button, his arse opens up, and you get like slime blocked into his arse.
Fisted.
Yeah, it was great. I can see a creeper. Yeah, but that was a game that
It's very.
but the first time I succumbed to it, and I was just being like, I was being bullied on my first time playing it. It was really weird. Like my viewers invited me to this another server that they owned, and then they were just like creeper spawning me and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I don't even know what a creeper is. What the shit is this? I don't get it. I was like, I hate this. This is poo. And then I came back a year later, and I kind of enjoyed it. But that's the only game that I was ever forced to play or made to feel like I should have to play. And yeah, eventually I enjoyed it. But there's been nothing else really. There's been odd little bits here and there, like maybe you should give this a go, or I've bought this and give that a go. I mean, Cameron bought me a game last week and said, please play this for me. And I was like, yeah, I'll happily play that for you. Those are exceptions to the rules, though. There's still people that I get that come in and go, would you like to try this game out? I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And then I did a thing with Virtue, with a game that came out.
Yesterday, wasn't it?
What was that game?
I can't remember, because we were playing together, didn't we? And I can't remember what it was called now. It was
Monstrum 2. That's
Monstrum 2.
It's Monstrum 2. That's right.
And he brought us in and stuff like that, and that was a really good night. You know?
Yeah, that was fun. That was
First, a lovely bloke.
There was like five players, wasn't there? All streamers, but one of them didn't stream, did it? So there was like 4 streamers on the go at the same time. It was brilliant. That was a proper like.
I think we've had all of them on now, haven't we?
Shit. Yeah, apart from Calico.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Alert.
Yeah.
But no, it's just that kind of thing I don't mind doing. But like being like kind of the only one I really succumbed to was Minecraft. Yeah.
No, I get you. I think at this point, with owning as many games as I do, there's so many games I haven't played, and people are like, "Have you not? How have you got all these but not played it?" You know?
Yeah.
Zelda was one for me. Like, I never played a Zelda game until I played Link to the Past like this year. Mass Effect 3. People want me to finish Mass Effect 3. I determined not to, because I know it's like I don't see why I should play the game that's notoriously bad at the end to like enjoy the entire game and then just be the last 10 minutes be like, oh, okay.
I suppose it
But I find
depends
that's
what's more
because
important, whether it's the journey
that
or the
worries me.
destination.
Yeah, it sort of worries me the fact that I think I don't want to enjoy the journey so much that at the end it's like, oh well, it's kind of ruined this for me now, you know.
I think
there's
that
also
when
a
it comes to
validation as well with of similar feelings towards an attitude of a game and stuff like that. When you
Yeah.
see like a bad thing happen, does this streamer who I like and get on with,
Mm.
is he going to feel the same as I do, or would that bounce off a conversation of why they actually enjoyed that ending compared to others and
Mm.
stuff like that? You know.
I, mean,
yeah, at the
I
end of
would
the
love
day,
to finish Mass Effect 3. I just haven't got around to it. That's
yeah,
all.
because at the end of the day, you never know, you might like it. But I think
Mm.
also that I think. I mean, obviously, this is my opinion, but the nature of a video game is that it's pretty much all about the journey and very little about the destination, because
No,
the whole
exactly.
point of
Yeah.
the game is to enjoy playing it, which is the journey. So, I don't know. Maybe you should try it, and
Maybe I
you might
should
like
play.
it,
Yeah.
especially if you like the first two. I'm not saying that you should,
Exactly.
but maybe.
Exactly. And
If
Rex is
anything,
back.
it'll complete it as well for you, doesn't it? You're done. Then.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. You're
Ties
done
it
now.
off.
You get that
Um,
closure.
Yes.
No, I definitely like. Another one would have been. I'm not playing a single Metal Gear Solid game. I would love to. It's just not on there.
Metal Gear Solid 1 was amazing.
The
I
thing
really
is,
enjoyed
like,
4.
I played. The thing is, I grew up with. You can probably tell I grew up with a lot of Xbox games, but it's like now that I have the PS5, I'm going back and playing all the the PlayStation games that I never played
That's
before.
a
Like
good idea.
even though it's not like back and pat for them, like I play them on. I never emulate. That's why I have so many games that I try to like get all the games physically or in a certain media that it's like available. Like I played all the Silent Hill games. It's a series I never played before. I love them. I love the Silent Hill games. I have them all physically behind me. I played through. I'm trying to think what else I did that I was told like, hey, like why have you done this sort of thing, and I ended up loving it. Like this is like Final Fantasy in general. And the only Final Fantasy that I always knew growing up I wanted to get a Final Fantasy. I just didn't know which one it was going to be.
Yeah.
And like I know a lot of people sort of impact you when it comes to like you should play this one, you should play that one. My first one, to your dismay, Mellar, was Final Fantasy 13-3, Lightning Returns. I didn't finish it. I got about I got halfway through and I was like, I don't understand what's going on because at the time I had no idea. I was on the case to my benefit. It just says 13. It doesn't say 13-3.
Is it not?
No, doesn't say. It just says Lightning Returns. It's like, well, I guess that it's for someone that was like 14-year-old deck. It's like, well, I guess this is going to be like, I guess she must have left in 12 or something like that. I don't know. This is 13. And then I played a little at 15 and I thought 15 was okay. I wanted to continue on with it, but I never did. And then I eventually settled and got into the series at 7. And I want to get into more,
Yeah.
7 remakes sort of really made it happen and set the original 7. I loved it. And I think going back to, enjoying the games like that, it's all about it,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other, I nearly sort of played out.
Speaking of 7, have you ever watched Advent Children?
Oh, that is a fantastic movie.
Oh, please let me talk about this. Oh, so, I have like the most wholesome memory of Advent Children, where it was the night I finished. So we all got together and I finished the original 7 on stream. Everyone was there. We beat Sephiroth. We're all cheering. We're all happy. And then about an hour later, after the stream, we all hop in Discord. There's like maybe 8 of us, 9 of us watching Advent Children. And the one thing that'll stick out to me is I don't know if anyone. Oh, I assume you've seen Advent Children.
Yeah.
There's a moment right at the end where obviously Cloud's fighting Sephiroth, and he jumps up to Omni Slash him, and as he jumps up, my friend just shouted, he went limit break, and just starts, Cloud just started slashing him up, and I was like, it's not happened, I think it's one of those things where as soon as there's so many things out there that you don't know you enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like. I started watching Dragon Ball, for instance. I watched all of Z from November last year till April this year in the community, like with the community, and I never knew I liked Dragon Ball. But it's one of those things where it's like the same with Final Fantasy. I never knew that I liked 7 as much as I did. I never knew I liked Dragon Ball as much as I did. But it became such big parts of my life, even though it's quite recently. Like people grew up with that. It's like there's so much stuff that impacts you or that you connect with, you just don't know you enjoy it yet because you haven't, given it a chance. I definitely get that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like playing games, you never know what you're gonna love. Like I could really love MGS, but I deserved it. I may really love Devil May Cry. I played one. I played MGS for Devil May Cry 5, and that's it.
Fair enough.
Oh, I remember the first one coming out. Oh my god.
I've got a story about Advent Children, actually, funny enough.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, because me and my mate watched it on DVD, and it's one of the ones where we always used to watch them with subbed, We used to prefer subs, but we were like, we liked it so much. We were like, should we watch it dubbed just to see what's different? Right. So we sat down and we watched it. But this was the day that the Eurovision was on.
Okay.
Right? And this was the year that Lordi was in it. You know, Hard Rock Hallelujah, right? And we thought this was hilarious because we were like, we're metalheads, and you know, obviously, normally, Eurovision is just Europop crap, basically, or at least to someone who likes metal. And we thought that Lordi was like the best thing ever. So we literally we watched them play their song, which was quite near the beginning of the show. And we were like, they're never going to win. Like, there's no way in hell that they're going to get, like, any points whatsoever. So we started watching Advent Children. And then we got, like, an hour into Advent Children. And we're like, well, we wonder how they're doing. And we flipped over and they were winning. And we were like, well, what the fuck is this? And we literally ended up just watching the rest of the Eurovision. And we went mad when they won. They were just like, oh, my God, this is the best day ever. And then after it was all over, we went back and finished watching Advent Children. It was a great day.
That's such a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Oh,
what a ridiculous story.
It's always great when you have like great memories attached to certain things that it sticks out more for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that a lot.
And those two things will always be intrinsically linked in my mind: Hard Rock Hallelujah and Advent Children.
Advent Children. Well, I mean, the rendition that they have of One Winged Angel when Sephiroth comes up.
Oh,
that's
it's
pretty
beautiful, isn't it?
It's pretty metal. You know
Especially like when it happens and what's happening, and it just makes your skin
it just
sort
gives
of,
you.
all your hairs go standing on end, don't they? And you get
I know.
amazing.
Oh.
I can't believe we've talked for so long.
I know. I have a problem where I just I talk and talk and talk. I never stops.
You maybe should consider streaming.
I might do that. I don't know. I don't know if I have the qualifications for that sort of stuff.
Do you know what? I think you start with a game you like.
Oh yeah.
Try Fortnite. Fortnite's a good one.
I fucking love Fortnite. I'm so good at it.
You seem the type. Yeah.
Wait. Are we still doing like the Kappa face, or are you actually good at Fortnite?
Oh no.
Oh, thank God.
Pro gamer, pew pew, motherfucker.
I'm terrible at Fortnite. I played Fortnite with my friends back when it like first started to be like, but back when Save the World was a thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. And then like the Battle Royale, I was like, I'm not any good at Battle Royale. I don't like it.
No.
I'm not a giant fan of Battle Royales.
No.
So it's like,
I like quirky ones, like Realm Royale was a fun one.
I'm not even a fan particularly of that, although it is kind of fun when you turn into a chicken.
It's adorable. Yeah, I thought that was cute. And then like the quirky, like superhero ability-esque things they went and all that kind of stuff, where you could fly around a little bit and stuff.
Yeah. Shall we move on to section 3 then?
Yeah. So I was like,
we haven't done section 2 yet. What are you on about?
No, section 2 is that was that.
Oh, so lovely. Well, let's move on then to section 3 of the stream. So for anyone who's just listening, now is a really good time to draw your eyes to the screen because we're going to start watching some Twitch clips. So we're going to play Follow, Sub or Dip. This is our sub game that we play where we're going to watch 9 different clips from 3 different streamers. They're streamers that we've never seen before. Well, at least that's the idea. They're picked mostly at random, although we do let the guest choose which sort of viewership bracket we're looking at, and we're actually looking at the middle bracket today, which is 20 to 40 viewers. That's pretty much the only piece of information that's outside of the actual what you're seeing on the actual clip that you're allowed to take into account. So what we'll do is we'll watch the first streamer, so the first 3 clips. We'll have a quick chat about what we feel about the clip. And then we'll move on to the next one. We'll have a quick chat, but we won't reveal which we would sub to, which we would follow, and which we would just leave. We would dip until we've seen all 9 clips and we've talked about all 9 clips. We good to start with clip number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's load up clip number 1 and we'll watch it together in 3, 2, 1, and play that clip.
He dropped a Prime now, say send it. How does he say it? Send it! I don't know. I don't... I don't know how he does it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to clip number 2. Are we ready?
Mm.
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and play that clip.
Did you find Pin Island? You know? I went below deck and I couldn't find it. But maybe one day.
What game is that?
Assassin's Creed 4.
Right, it's the boaty Assassin's Creed. I get it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, this is Black Flag.
All right, no problem. And then we'll watch clip number 3. 3, 2,
It's that
1.
one.
Play that clip.
What's up, big guy? How you doing?
Right, I think we should maybe rewatch that one because it was very short.
That's everything I wanted it to be.
3,
Yes, it was perfect.
we'll rewatch that one. 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
What's up, big guy? How you doing?
It's the blowing.
I feel like he's talking personally to me.
It's the camera change that gets me. I like
I
that.
think I
How you
just
doing?
dribbled.
I mean, let's be honest. That man makes you wet. Let's be real.
Quite literally.
So, without saying whether you follow, sub, or dip, what do you think of that streamer from what we've just seen? Deck.
I think that he's definitely got an eye for comedy. Like he's definitely that was like even off that last clip that was pretty good. And like even the I didn't get the joke about Pet Island, but I assume it's about penis.
Right.
Penis land.
Penis land. Yeah.
It's an old person joke. It's okay.
Okay, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I think that he's definitely. I definitely have the same sort of humor as him. I definitely can get behind that sort of thing. I'd like when a streamer's funny and interacts with chat, or like has like little inside jokes, a little sort of
Yeah.
hey, look at me sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's nice. It definitely is really nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have to say, I really like his overlay. Actually, like quite a lot. Like it's super minimal, but it's also got the information it's got what Boino was talking about a couple of episodes ago, where it's got just one piece of information that keeps flicking between latest sub, latest follow, all that kind of thing, which is amazing. It's got I'm not sure if that's like a sponsor or his logo, but I love the webcam window.
Like the thing about
Yeah. I love the webcam window.
It's such a flush thing.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's relatively unique in that I don't see many people with a webcam like that, and I don't know. It looks very clean, and it's got like quite a nice background to go with it as well. It looks quite professional.
Did you notice in the setting clip that he's got a fire on a TV?
Yes, I saw that.
I didn't see that.
Mention that. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But the thing I noticed about that is if you look at his backdrop in the first one, it's the same kind of like cuboid effect that he's got. So that's an actual thing he's got.
Yeah, I think it might be like a canvas.
The lights that are like every streamer has those purple lights.
Yeah, but I mean
ones.
that's I thought it was going to be like a green screen backdrop behind the TV, but it's an actual thing.
It's an actual thing.
Really cool.
I didn't understand the first clip. I don't know if that's just me or not.
I got really confused with the clip because I've never played Hitman 3, and I was trying to figure out why he was sponsoring a really old 2000s camera phone.
I just don't get it. I was like,
which was at the bottom right, and I was like, why has he got that on his stream?
What were we sending it? I don't get it.
But I liked the fact that the camera's gorgeous. I love the attention to detail.
Yeah.
In the minimalist screen.
I like the fact that he's got the two cameras and he uses them.
He's got two cameras, and even when you look at the other angle, he's still got presentation features going on there, which means he cares about his entire surrounding, not just like face value. Because if you look to the left of me, it's an absolute shit show of Reese's peanut butter cups. So
I think if you look at I've got the poster, but that's pretty much it. The doors on that side.
Yeah,
I feel like he's got the room is dedicated to it, and he's like made it real as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of nice. It's a lot of work though, making like having a stream room. Like that's a lot of dedication.
Yeah. But I think if you're gonna do it in terms of like, you just he's going all out. He's doing it. Yeah. He loves it.
Like, I mean, it's one of the things like do it. Like,
he's definitely got a high production quality as well. Like his microphone sounds good, but of course you'd expect that from the Shure SM7B. So.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's what I would have got if I had the money, but I got this, which is absolutely fantastic as well. But it's not quite on the same level. But it's
I get you.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of like production value there. It's really good. The only thing I would say is that these 3 clips are all for some reason really short, and that because of that, there's actually no chat interactivity. But they're so short that I don't think I could really mark them down from that.
But you are getting chat interactivity because in the second clip he's talking about penis land, isn't he? So.
Yeah, I also think that it's also a case of like the third clip, someone's coming into the stream and it's somebody knows, so he's like, hey, big boy.
Yeah, hey, big boy. Yeah, absolutely.
The way Hippo, introduces me to him.
Yeah, I like this guy. You got any more Hippo?
No, I like it. I like the minimalist. I love that camera border, and it's not the first time we've seen something of that line. We saw a female streamer a while ago, if you remember, who was kind of intermittently going between the horizontal and the vertical.
Yeah, we
I
had
think it's a tough choice.
we had that
honestly.
dude as well. I think when we had Chocolate on, who dislocated his shoulder. Remember, but in one of the other videos, I know it was Virtue, wasn't he? And he kept on doing this thing where he kept moving the camera while
Yeah.
he was. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just so sort of silly.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why this kind of like camera that especially how he looks in the second clip is not used more. And I would love to be able to do something like that. And I probably could do something like that, but I'm too lazy to figure that shit out, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that small fraction of it, I don't care about the game. I love the way he looks.
No, exactly. Yeah.
He looks amazing.
It's a crush now, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when we initially started loading up the clips and I saw clip 3, and I was like, oh, "What the fuck is that shit about?" Yeah,
This is the
Nah, fair
thumbnail.
play.
Like, yeah.
On a soul
Yeah.
level, he's talking to
yeah. But no, it's very clean. It's very tidy. He's a smiler. He's obviously interacting with
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah.
It's cool. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, brilliant. We'll move on then to clip number 4. So we've got that loaded ready.
Mhm.
We'll watch
I'll
that
quickly
in
just-
3, 2, 1, and play that clip.
What? This is... This is not what I wanted. What?
Awesome.
Okay.
Clip number 5. I can count 3, 2, 1. Play that
Right.
clip.
Do I have to?
Yeah, you have to.
What? Who said that?
I said that.
No!
Do you want them?
Okay, okay, fine.
What the fuck was that?
Pretty sure it was Yodel.
I've
But
never,
that was the other
I've never seen OBS do that. Right, that was so loud. You know when it clips and it turns all red.
Yeah.
It went red and then it went black.
Can we do that again?
Do what again?
Can we watch that one again?
No, you can if you like. But I'm not subjecting everyone to that again. Sorry, that was far too loud. Like she moved the thing away from him to try and sort that out, but it didn't really help. Anyway, we'll move on to clip number 6.
I rewatched that one.
All right, are we ready to watch this yet?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Right, 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Look at this. I have more beard than dead beard right now.
Thunder lightning.
Okay. All right. So, what did you think of that streamer, Deck?
Said that.
I mean, other than she's a cutie, I was disappointed with the second clip because she got a boyfriend. So,
Oh,
unfortunately,
shame.
Ah, you're assuming there.
yeah, it's true. I am assuming there. I don't know. I wouldn't let anyone near my OBS if I wasn't close to them. No, I think that I quite enjoyed. I thought the first clip was really like she broke the game, right? Like that was supposed to happen. Like the first clip, like she just got out of bounds.
No,
Uh,
I think that it was supposed to happen. It
This
was
is
just
what's happened. I wasn't too sure if she'd accidentally done it or if it was like she'd clipped herself out of bounds by mistake.
maybe.
So that was something I was curious about. I think that she's not, obviously she obviously does more than just gaming.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't just do like I know certain people are stuck this straight playing games.
Hmm.
So there's a moth in my ear. I got a fright there. So it's nice to see sort of a mixture because it's like with the amount of streamers out there, it is nice to see someone do something different.
Yeah.
But I totally understand that. I like the overlays quite a lot actually. Like I think it's very much a case of do you use an overlay, do you not use an overlay in Twitch? Like do you not have one? Just like I went through that sort of thing of like do you use a face cam, do you use a green screen, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to sort of have stuff. She obviously talks to chat because there's a lot of like even in the last clip she's talking about beard and like everyone in chat's talking about the beard as well.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that sort of really arised for me there was the second clip where we had the terrible yodeling
Yeah.
of terrifyingness.
Yeah.
But
I did not appreciate that.
I quite enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I actually I was surprised that I kind of liked the overlay because I'm not normally a fan of sort of relatively large overlays, and I'd say this is relatively large, but it's actually really well laid out.
You're on about between clip 1 and 3, aren't you?
1 and 3. Well, actually, it's kind of the same. But yeah, mostly.
Yeah, but if you compare to 2,
yeah,
she's done something completely different.
Yeah,
so,
2's not as good, but yeah, definitely clip 1 and 3. Like the overlay is actually it's very clean, even though it's relatively busy.
Basic.
And
Yeah.
I have to say, I really like the chat because it's like this is something that Virtue was talking about. It's not the default font, and it's actually that is the easiest to read chat I think I've ever seen on screen. It's definitely easier than the chat that we have for the show. Sorry for anyone who finds that difficult to read. But yeah, that looks really nice. I also quite like this kind of aesthetic, this sort of Windows 95 aesthetic. I have seen other streamers do it.
That's a Bible pack you can get for Streamlabs.
Is it really? Because I've seen other streamers with it, but I always.
I think it's something you can buy.
Yeah, I think it's if that's the case, I really like it. I think it's a really good looking one because because it's Windows 95, it looks quite clean. Because it's quite minimalist, and I really like it. So even though I think this is one of the few exceptions where even though it's quite a busy overlay, I actually quite like it. Well, in the first and the third clips, it's actually not that like hard on the eyes, and like the use of colors as well, like using it's basically a dark mode. Again, quite easy on the eyes. The only thing I would definitely say that I really don't get is that second clip, right? So we were talking earlier about the Shure SM7B.
Yeah,
it's the same mic, so that she's got one of these as well. It's about 400 quid, right? This microphone,
and he's yodeling into it.
Yeah, and you can't just plug it straight into the computer. You need an interface like a Go XLR, which is what, like 300 quid, right? So just the fact that she's got that there, she's probably spent somewhere between what £500 to £700 just to have that, right?
Exactly.
So this is a serious hobby, and yet she doesn't appear to have a compressor turned on.
But the thing is, it's also how often are you yodeling into the mic?
Yeah, but you still have a compressor. I have a compressor now. I almost never yell into my mic, but I've still you always have a compressor because you never know when something really loud is going to happen.
Yeah, you never know when something's going to be overly loud or whatever happens.
Like even if you're playing, like I've had times when I've been playing a game, not even a scary game, and something has happened that has scared me, and I've gone like that. You need a compressor, and if she had had one properly set up, that wouldn't have made all our ears bleed. So she's got all this expensive equipment, and yet it's not set up correctly. Now, you don't have to know how to do all this stuff to stream. Absolutely not. But when you're going to spend that kind of money on the equipment, then you're like, well, surely, even if you can't do it yourself, you can either learn or you can get someone else to do it for you. When it's, otherwise you may as well have, I don't know, a headset mic that cost you a tenner. So I don't know, I always get a little bit annoyed with like really loud noises. They just go through my head, and I feel like they've attacked my brain, and I'm finding it a little bit hard to get over that. But other than that, I liked it, and I like the fact that she's talking to chat, she's having a laugh, she's clearly enjoying herself. So overall, I really liked it.
Though, isn't it? Make sure that you're having a good time and doing the stuff that's you enjoy. That's the most important part of doing it.
Exactly, absolutely. I think I just would have enjoyed it more if my ears weren't bleeding.
If there was a compressor.
Exactly. What about you, Hippo?
So there are some nice little attention to details that I find quite impressive. So she's using a blanket behind her, which looks very nice. It's astrological signs or whatever you want to call it, and stuff like that, which is cool. I didn't
notice that, but it's a really cool background actually, because it's
different.
But
if you look in clip 3, she's actually got netting in front of it to give a spider web effect, and it moves differently to the blanket that's shaking in the background as well.
That's really cool.
So she's gotten this whole like vibe of like spiderweb culty kind of feel, even though she's using starter signs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To the significant background. I've always liked the pastel goth kind of theme anyway, and the fact that she's done the whole Windows 95 but in a pastel goth fashion is really nice. Again, I was talking about earlier on about games, how I like slightly disjointed things and stuff like that. So the fact she's got like 2 separate windows is a proper nostalgia feel to it.
It's good.
That's why I like the 1 and 3, but I don't like clip 2
because 2 is different.
It's
different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also like the fact that she has a really nice clean font on the text, which is cool.
Really nice.
I like the fact she's gone for a really old school, like Commodore 64-esque type font for the resubbing and gifted down underneath the latest news section.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a nice little attention detail there as well in the latest news. And I really, really respect the fact she's put "remember to be nice."
Yeah, I was actually
in the clip
just going to mention that because I noticed it just as you were talking there. It's all it's nice.
It's just little attentions to details because that's cool. But the things I don't like, which is kind of generic with this kind of situation, is I don't like the fact there's the new chair award at the top right on clip 3, and a cooking stream for the bit goal.
Well, the first one, isn't it? The first one is like drinking stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just that kind of thing kind of annoys me to a degree.
I don't
but...
get the whole thing of drinking streams. I get that people can grow from it, but it's like, why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
We've had this discussion many times in the past. When it comes to like goal stuff, I don't really like it unless it's for a real purpose in terms of like when they started allowing you to have a threshold of new emotes depending on how many subs you have, and you're close to that threshold, then maybe you put it up. Say, look, we're 47 out of 50. If I get 3 more, we'll get this fucking emote, and that's kind of a nice community effort kind of thing. Whereas this is more profiteering for comfort and things like that.
Yeah,
like a new chair is not like a stream benefit and stuff like that. That's a comfort benefit for yourself kind of thing. Like, and that's fair play. Some people are in it for money as well as doing the gaming, which is cool. I like that. That's all right to each their own. But I just, it's very in your face, which is a shame considering how subtly lovely the rest of the stream is for something that does all that.
Yeah,
with the Windows 95 aesthetics and all the little be nice and all that kind of things, and you got like a boom, let's have a cooking stream, and I'm like, it's kind of like you look at clip 3 is the best clip in terms of viewing her, because you've got the local term.exe, you got it's nice, it's clean, it's dark background, kind of old school. I like it. It's nice, it's fun. There's so much attention to details, and you've got a big tip jar pot with her own custom thing, I guess. I assume it's and then you've got like cooking stream goal, and then you've got subtly in the top right new chair, but you can see it's there.
Yeah,
it's your eyes are going straight to it without meaning to.
It's not sort of like in your face. It's like it's sort of there, but it's like it's subtly there, so it makes you think about it.
Yeah, so it's for me this the just pausing it on here. It's very much moments.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a giant fan of like when it's super busy, but she's done it well. She definitely has done it well there.
Yeah. I think like even sort of the tip jar, because normally tip jars stick out like a sore thumb, but that one actually like blends in really nicely.
Yeah.
No,
and it kind of looks like a horror doll as well.
It does, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We spoke. It fits her aesthetic though, because she seems very like. I think maybe it's just the pink dress and the red and the black wig, or maybe it's her hair. But it does seem very like kind of punk goth sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it matches like the overlay elements as well, though.
Yeah,
we spoke about this before, Mellar. That it's like it's definitely hard to find a background.
Yes, it's hard to find a good background because so many people either have obviously a green screen or those damn purple lights that everyone seems to have.
Just that, and I mean, so it's nice to actually see someone use their background, like use a background that's actually, that would be cheap and effective,
Yeah.
It's
nice, it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do like the fact that like sort of the whole aesthetic kind of it very much like all comes together, and like there's a lot of thought that seems to have gone into sort of every single part of it to make sure that it fits that aesthetic. And there's like every time I look, there's something else that I'm like, oh yeah, that fits the aesthetic as well, because it all goes together so well. You kind of like your eyes sort of gloss over it as one sort of fantastic whole.
Exactly. Yeah. I never noticed this. I know obviously people were saying like, oh, she's got netting. It's not netting. It's lights.
Is it?
She's got like spiderweb lights.
There's actually some lights in it, isn't there?
Yeah,
they're like little spotlights, like almost like twinkle lights.
She might have done it in a spiderweb sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I never noticed that. It's like I'm starting to see these lights.
Yeah, because you can see if you look to the left of underneath her boom arm, you can see where it's trailing into the netting.
Like, careful.
It's very cool. All right, shall we move on then to clip number 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Are you ready, Deck?
Yeah, season 8, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
Brilliant. 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
No! Son of a! He came right here! Gosh! Fudge my nuggets, bro! Shoot, did I just go to show desktop, really?
We should have just kept pushing forward. Yep.
No, you should have called ages ago that they were there. And we literally would have smoked them. And they just
All right. Clip number 8. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Oh my god.
Let's freaking go! Drop the bot! Drop the freaking! Oh my good lord, are you kidding me right now?
Okay. And then the last clip, clip number 9. We ready?
Yar.
3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Like, how out of the thousands of people on Twitch did you find me? Like, I've got Bacon Delivery, I've got Twin Screw, I've got Snap, I have got Jim, Dren, Fifth, Ill, Swabs, Zeal, Fire, Kabar, Haber, or Javier, Battle.
Yeah, I agree with T. All right. Well, awesome. Without saying whether you'd follow sub or dip yet, Deck, what did you think of that streamer?
I also agree with T. He's very loud.
Yep.
I'm not a giant fan of streamers that are super ragey when it comes to like games.
Yeah.
I feel like if I go, like, I get like certain things, but if like if they're going, you know, I think as soon as like he went down, it's like, oh no, you should have told me. It's like, well, it's not sort of just they've got their own stuff to worry about, you know.
Yeah.
I think the overlay, the first one was, you know, it was all compact. There was, you know, maybe the text on the top was a little bit too small. I can't really read.
It
like,
might not be there, to be honest. It's that
you
small.
know, it might as well just not be there exactly.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if you took that away, his camera's fine.
Yeah.
There's not really anything else added to it, so it's pretty much, you know, simple enough.
Yeah.
Go to the second one. It's a different camera, a bit more basic compared to his first one, because his first one's got a bit of a shape to it. The second one's very much just like a square box.
Yeah.
The last overlay though, I didn't like that much at all, because it seems very much just he threw it together. Like, it seems like, I don't know if this is something that he did first, because it feels like we've went back sort of thing. Like this is like from the start, like he was like, you know, from his newest stuff back the way sort of thing, because it seems like he's done this himself.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, because it's like that's something that would be created, like you've definitely made all this stuff yourself. If not, it's like but yikes.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very I could throw it together in like 10 minutes sort of thing.
I understand.
Like, as someone that creates their own stuff, and I don't think any of my stuff's any good none of the time, but it's like it definitely is. You can see where it's like, you know, changed and got more refined and better, and like just upgraded and stuff. But there's not really much to go on overlay wise. He's very loud himself. He obviously takes the game seriously. I think all 3 clips are Apex.
Yes. The third clip I think is
Warframe.
Sorry,
right. But it's
Warframe
I think
last
he's like in between doing something, isn't he? He's basically just chatting in between, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you'd actually play the game on that screen.
I hope not.
No, me too.
That looks more like a BRB screen or something, or, you know, have an active thing there.
Yeah, waiting for something to happen maybe in Warframe.
Yeah, like you get those sort of ththings where it's like, I mean, other streams it's very much like a tiny little box in a corner, and like, you know, they're out. But I get what you mean. Like he's either sort of talking to them. It looks like he's got a raid or something like that.
Yes.
Because he's like, it's just follow after follow after follow, and you can obviously see he's hyped.
Yeah, and also
gassed
the
about
sort
it.
of what he's saying about how did you find me as well. That seems kind of
Yeah.
yeah,
He seems very much like it's a big thing for him, sort
Yeah.
of thing. Like, how did you find me? You searched all this place,
yeah,
which is always sort of nice to see. Like when if he's a smaller chap, like on Twitch, like for bigger people to come there and try and find him, it definitely makes people his days.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not the sort of person I would typically watch. I think mainly because of the game, but also because it's like he's super loud and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of if I'm doing something here, and if I'm just sitting here doing this, I don't want to be sort of like, it's like
Yeah.
what's going on on your screen? Sorry,
yeah, absolutely.
But it definitely sort of caught me off by guard, like when it just starts shouting all the way. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely kind of I appreciated his overlay in the first two clips, especially the second one. Actually, I
It's got
quite
those
liked.
lights in the second one.
I like the fact that it
I
was.
just noticed that.
Is it purple lights? Yeah,
It's blue ones, but
the classic. The classic. Well, it goes purple in the back, doesn't it? It's blue and purple in the first clip, and just basically all purple in the second. But I liked the overlay, especially in the second clip. Like it was very close to basically just being a webcam over the thing, but he's actually got that little border there, which I think is like such a small thing, but it really changes the way that it looks and the way that you sort of feel about it. I think it's actually quite important. He does have the name at the bottom there, which I know is a bugbear of hippos, but I think overall it looks quite good. The only thing that I would say, and it's clearly something that I think, because I think the second clip is older than the first, something that I think that he's probably thought about afterwards is, especially if he's playing only one game, or pretty much only one game, Apex. In the second clip, his camera covers over important information.
That is true as well. It's very hard to try and figure out where to put your camera, though.
Yeah,
in
but
certain games.
what
But
I
if
would
it's
say is,
if it's in the same game, then it's not as hard.
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you're playing the same game over and over again, it's not quite as difficult to figure it out. But then again, he has moved it into a place which I'm pretty sure. I mean, you don't really see it that well in the clip, but if you were, I'm just sort of having a look at the sort of UI on the second clip. If you then moved it to where it is on the first perfect.
One.
It's perfect. Sorry, it's perfect place to put it. I love the fact that the camera is slightly weird, sort of shape on the first clip as well.
Yeah, it definitely gives it a bit of a, uniqueness to it.
Yeah, it's not much, but it's something. And the only thing that I would say is that that text that's above it is so small, it basically may as well not be there.
It's the same with his logo, so the name that needs to be bigger as well.
Yeah. The third clip, the overlay was a bit weird. I'm not really sure what's going on there, especially with the because I think he's using a green screen there. Maybe. Yeah. And if he is, then why do I see the box? Surely if he's using a green screen, then he should blend into the background. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. It just seems a bit weird.
There, because he's done the same thing for his chat.
Possibly.
Yeah, he's even though he's green screened, he's separating himself off to make it a little bit tidier. Is what he's doing.
I don't know. I think
he's had the darkened box behind him.
I think it would look
but
better.
He's off-centered himself.
If he was snapped to the blue line at the bottom and then just got rid of the dark area behind him, then he'd blend in with the cityscape in the background. I don't know. It just looks a bit off to me. But no, his mana was just a bit too extra for me.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue that I have with it is because when you stream, like we said earlier, you're putting on a show and you're sort of a different version of yourself in a way. You're the more outgoing version of yourself in order to sort of put on that show. But I get the feeling that this is a little bit forced. Obviously, I don't know that for sure, but I just get that vibe from watching these three clips.
I know what you mean.
And I don't know. It just when it feels forced, it doesn't feel like you're talking to a genuine person, and then you're just like, well.
It feels like an actor in a way.
Yeah, it feels like exactly. It feels like an act, and therefore, I would then have to be there for the game, and I'm not really there for this kind of game.
No, exactly.
The only other one thing that I would say, and this I think is something that we pointed out before, and I'm glad that he kind of fixed it in one of the later ones, is the side cam, right? So he's side on the cam. Now, I've not necessarily got something entirely against that. It can work, but if you are side onto the cam, don't wear a cap because it cuts you off from the people that you're like. We're basically just looking at a hat at this stage. You know what I mean? Like there's kind of a thing. It's just like a subconscious thing, like where you've cut yourself off from.
It's kind of like blinders in a way.
Say again.
It's kind of like blinders in a way. Like all you're seeing is like you're seeing that and that's all.
Exactly. Yeah. So like that, if you're gonna have it side on, then yeah, I'd definitely dispense with the cap because it will make it less like, you know, I'm focusing on this now. You can fuck off basically, kind of thing, you know.
No, I
Because
get
that's
you.
kind of what it feels a little bit like with the cap. It's such a it's one of those sort of little things that most people don't really recognize. And to be honest, I don't think I did until someone mentioned it in a previous episode of this. But now that I've sort of been made aware, it does. I think it was Maury actually that mentioned it. But yeah, what do you reckon, Hippo?
So it was kind of a weird journey on this one. We went for the first clip, and I instantly just thought, FaZe Clan wannabe kind of.
Yeah.
He's got his own wearing his own merch, which I'm fine wearing own merch. That's cool, but it's like that weird gamer, so it's like esport jacket thing going on, and
Yeah.
he's wearing the was it those glasses that help do
Yeah.
your gaming thing, and
Gamer optics, or what's called.
yeah, and I was like, okay, so maybe he's a esporty kind of guy, and he's aiming for that. Although, like personally, I don't think I'd wear a shirt got Dad Got Game unless I was a dad, because it just feels like Dad Got Game is like
Daddy,
Dad's getting laid.
Well,
you know,
wasn't
is what I'm
his
getting.
bot was called Dad X Bot? So the one that was like in the third clip that was saying thank you for the follow.
Yeah,
That's at Dad X Bot. So maybe that's like some sort of channel meme.
yeah. So the camera, the box, the overlay is it's fairly. I need to be edgelord kind of literally, with that, because I mean, look, we've all gone through phases, depending on what you've got at the moment, where we go through like the standard 6x9, 16, or whatever the fuck that rotation is, and widescreen kind of box, and he's trimmed off the edges and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people who've kind of gone that way as well to try and be different, but not. It's like a weird sheepish, but not mean to be sheepish kind of thing going on.
Right.
The second box I really like on the second clip. I like the fact that the vertical and the horizontal are different lengths as well in the colors.
Yeah, it looks
Again, I like those kind of weird, like
Yeah.
odd things like that. Don't like the name in the middle of the screen, at the bottom of the
I
screen.
knew you were going
Don't
to say
like-
something about that.
Yeah,
It's one of the reasons I
just-
mentioned it.
Yeah, I know. I'll say it every time because you're on my stream. I am Dad's Got Game TV. You know what channel you're on. If you're going to watch me on YouTube, it's still going to be on my channel.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in one of those like weird Twitch compilations. Things where I've got
exactly. Unless someone
just in
steals
case.
your
busted a
content.
nut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a rarity considering the amount of people that's on Twitch.
Well, the thing is, I think you can send in your own clips. So if he sends in his own clip, then it's like
yeah,
it still gets used. But
which would make sense on like I would
Yeah.
say like the hype situation in the first clip would make sense.
Yeah.
To have something like that. Cut off the tail half of it where he's having an argument, but like that oh shit moment I just died thing. I kind of enjoy. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a really enthusiastic person.
He's
and
super enthusiastic.
without trying to sound like an asshole here, there are certain American gamer stereotypes that are very much like this in general. That over enthusiasm and the over accentuating of their words and doing things that they do. Whereas when I play these games, I'm like, oh fuck, I died, you prick.
Yeah.
Whereas there is an American gaming populace out there that are all like this.
Esports,
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so he's kind of that guy, and it was irritating me. And then I got the second clip, and he's like, not saying anything, and he wins, and he's enjoying himself. And I was like, okay, cool, he's won a game. Then I got to the third clip, where it all went to shit in terms of aesthetically.
Right.
But I kind of liked him.
Oh, yeah.
I liked
He's
the
humble.
fact that he was really over the moon that somebody's raided him, and he's doing these kind of things, and he's listening to all the people. Thank you for this. And
Yeah.
how'd you find me? This is really cool. And I thought, holy shit, that's a genuine guy right there, right now. I'm quite enjoying that. That's not the fake shit I'm seeing in the first two, where it's overhyping himself and being the esporty dude. It's just generally really appreciating that they've come in and got raided.
Yeah.
Do you think
And
that's because it's earlier in his streaming career?
I
and then
think so.
rolled into that.
I think so. Yeah, but I mean, aesthetics aside, it's horrible to see, and it looks like he's got like was it Beats by Dre but blue version at the bottom left going on the third
Yeah,
clip.
and his team is sort of
And it's
lower.
literally listing everything.
Yeah.
Although I do like the fact he's got a little boom box for his music. That's kind of cool. I like that. But like
Yes.
we were talking about earlier about like having a spinning
Little
disc
spinning
thing.
disc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm all about the little gimmicks. You know.
little things, exactly.
But here's another thing I don't get right. What's the bracket we're looking at here, by the way? What was the bracket chosen?
20 to 40.
Let's go to the first clip.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to have to open this up to max to see it, but yeah, with the tiny font
Super text that you couldn't see. It says 285 out of 400. Is it?
Wait, where is
on
it?
a sub goal.
Where are we talking? Where is it?
So you
Top
see,
left.
okay, so it's the right little text.
So it's like look on exactly. Yeah, I see him squinting like that. It's face cam. It's a little gradient at the top. It's yellow.
Yeah.
That's where
Oh
sub
right,
is.
I see it next to his face cam.
Yeah.
286 out of 400.
Yeah.
Right.
That's insane if that's legit. Now, I've known a
There's
couple of streamers in
people
the past that I don't get on with much anymore that have like fake written numbers in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
kind of
joking. No,
they
people
want
do
you
that.
to- Yeah, people do that,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
they'll-
yeah.
They'll sort of they're like, oh yeah, we're only like 3 away from doing this. Like
Like you know the money goals at the bottom.
Hmm.
On my stream elements, I could write how much I want to put into it as a successful part of the goal. So if I'm at like I want to get 1,000, and I say, look, I am $850 into the $1,000, and someone goes, oh, he's really close. I might as well just put that on. I could get that done.
Oh
yeah.
dear.
So
Okay.
that's like you could. if
I
you
don't.
only-
I'm not saying he's doing that.
No.
It
No,
could
no,
be a genuine
I get
thing
you.
where he got sub-botted or sub-bombed or something like that.
Maybe he's just
and
doing
shit
really
like that.
well.
I mean, I've been sub-bombed, and I had a sub-bomb of 50 fucking subs.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I've had
That
that, you
happens,
know.
yeah.
But like, it's that was like, what? Is that why it's really small? And to be fair, it looks like a Subway font on Subgoal.
Right.
But I don't know. I just it didn't seem genuine in the first 2 clips, and then in the third one, which is probably an older one,
earlier
I
one.
kind of like his vibe and the enthusiasm. It's
Yeah.
kind of like an moment, like when you get your first raid, it's that kind of shit.
I
Someone
don't know.
noticed me.
It's interesting because you obviously you get a genuine vibe from the third one. I don't at all. I don't get a genuine vibe from it, but that's just a vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, I get you.
All right. Well, should we make the hammer fall then? Should we decide?
Yeah.
All right then. So Deck, Sukonami, which one of these 3 streamers would you sub to? Which one would you follow, and which one would you just dip from?
I would do it in that order. Actually, I would sub to the first chap that was super.
Yep.
He had his whole setup really cool. It was like different angles, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'd probably follow the Little Miss. You
Yep.
know, she seemed quite nice.
Yep.
I liked the way her layout was.
Yep.
She was kind of cute, and I would definitely do that. But I'd probably dip from the last guy just because it's not nothing personal towards him. It's not quite an I enjoy. And I'm just not sort of looking to. I mean, I know there's an esports section on Twitch, but I don't watch it,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
not
fair
sort of
enough.
my thing. That's all.
All right then. Well, what do you reckon then, Hippo?
I'd sub first guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm torn.
Right.
Looking at ours.
Mainly, I'm gonna have to go with the whole science and maths thing here, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If we're going on the basis of like, if I'd seen him through the third clip, I'd probably follow him because I got that genuine vibe.
Right.
But if we're going on the mathematical bits of 2/3 of it I didn't overly enjoy and 1/3 I did enjoy, then I'd probably have to dip him. But then it kind of goes the same-ish with number 2 because I don't like the money situation thing thrown in the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like the lack of like professionalism with maintaining your microphone. Bear in mind, I'm coming on a blue microphone here. I don't have all your posh shit going on, but I can appreciate
blue
that
ones
if
too.
you're going for that kind of thing, you
Yeah,
go XLR and go all in and make sure you do everything right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where that's what I would do if I was going to buy that and I was going to go. So I'd be like, oh, so this is how I do this. This is the best setting to me, and make sure I got it down to a T. Make sure it's all safe, ready to rock, so I'm not hurting people's ears and stuff like that. Like you were saying, Mellar, earlier, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an irritation, but I really like the attention to detail she does if you push all that
Yes.
bullshit away.
Yes.
No,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
But am I really going to go see her stream just to see her backdrop
No.
and twinkly lights?
No.
I can't say that. Actually, never mind.
I guess yours, because I just want to see if I can read them all from this distance. but so it's I am proper torn on it because they both have good points and bad points, but I feel like she's probably got more good points marginally than he has.
Yeah.
In terms of what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I mean, I've played Portal 2. Okay, it's a game, cool. She's drawn a stick man in the second one, so she obviously does arty streams, which
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by because I kind of like seeing people just
Something
unleashing their
different.
creativity.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and she talks a lot to the chat, whereas he seems to be predominantly a slayer of some form, whether it's Apex or Warframe.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's you know, and I get some. There are one or two people I watch who do that shit, and but I enjoy do shit. Is that a double pun? I think so. But I don't know. I didn't like. Although I have to respect him, the fact that even though he got pissed off in the first one and hugely like over the moon in the second one and in the third, there was not a single swearing at all.
Yeah,
No, it's true.
Proper controlled.
Yeah, well pointed out. Actually, I hadn't noticed that. Well done. Yeah,
He
great.
purposely went with like all the heebie-jeebies and all that kind of whatever you want to call
Fire
it. and-
nuggets, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you know, I respect that because I can't control how I talk.
Oh, I'm Scottish. I have that problem as well. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, but that kind of gives that whole. I think for me, he's trying to be without trying as the best representation would be like a what's his face, Doctor Disrespect kind of vibe, you know, but PG.
Yeah.
You know, he's enjoying the game, but he over accentuates the feelings of emotion that he's doing, but still does it in a PG manner.
Yeah.
Which gives that kind of like disingenuity or whatever you want to call it is, you know, that big word I cannot pronounce because it's like 1:45 in the morning.
Disingenuous.
That's the bastard. Sorry, the bugger. I can't PG it. Yes, nugget.
Don't worry.
But yeah, but I like the fact that he's trying to give a show off that's different, you know.
Yeah.
But he loses it in the second clip.
Yeah.
Because he's focused in the game because it's a focus game. But then when he's out of it and he's done it, he's back into the hype and enjoying the game. And this is what we're doing. This is the show. This is party time. We're over it. You know, I can respect people who can pull that off.
Yeah.
And I think he pulls that off. But the third clip I feel like is when he really showed himself.
Right.
Compared to like the other stuff. So I think, okay, cutting it off, I would sub number 1. We'll go with follow number 2 and partially dip number 3. Although I'd probably peek back to see what he's doing.
Fair enough.
On the other occasions.
Yeah, that's cool.
Intriguing.
Yeah, fair enough. We all agree then. I would definitely sub the first guy. He seemed really entertaining. And I like the fact that he's doing lots of different things as well in the 3 clips. The second lady, she was quite entertaining as well. I really liked her overlay. I would have to trust that someone somewhere along the line would obviously set up a compressor for her, or she'd figure out herself. I mean, I'm sure there'll be someone who'd be willing to help. Like you said, the sort of money stuff
to do it for her.
would the money stuff would grate on me, I think, a little bit, but I could look over it for a bit. And then the third guy, I liked his enthusiasm, but it was just a bit too much for me. There was not really a huge amount there for me. It's not the kind of stream that I would acquaint, if I'm honest. But I can see why people would enjoy it. And he's definitely got a cool thing going. Awesome. I think maybe that's a wrap.
Just maybe.
Pretty
I
much.
think this also might be the longest one we've done.
That's what she said.
I
think it is
double-ended.
actually. Even the ones where we've continued past the time, we've done the segment 3 faster. So yes, thank you so much.
That's
for
right.
And we had the
sticking with it.
shortest segment 3 ever because we had the 3 really tiny clips in the first guy.
That's true.
It's
The best streamer had the shortest clips, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, but maybe that's
Quality, not
maybe that's the
quantity.
secret. But no, that was absolutely
Oh, yeah.
that was so much fun. Thank you for the chats, Sukonami.
Yes. Hello.
What a pleasure it has been. Thank you so much for coming.
It's been
thank
very,
you.
very fun. I was sort of a little bit nervous about appearing, I'll be honest. I wasn't sort of sure if I could ramble on for a couple hours, but hey, I do that sort of week to week anyway, so it's not really a problem, is it?
No, it went really well, and in fact, we've gone significantly over time. So thanks for
I hope
sticking with
it
it.
wasn't sort of you know, I hope it's been really good in my head. I hope it's been really good for everybody else as well.
Has it been good for you? It's been good for me.
Please write a review for me, will you? Because I was wonderful.
Yelp.
Harry Hippo, thank you as well for just being an amazing co-host. Really appreciate you, dude. It's you know, I know you got a lot on at the moment, so thank you for hanging about. Really appreciate it. And also thank you everyone who has hung about in chat and added to the conversation and enjoyed the stream by lurking. Really do appreciate it. Do join the Discord. We do one of these every month. We have a different guest on. We're not quite ready to announce who the next guest is and exactly when it's going to be, partially because I don't know. I've got a pretty good idea who the guest is going to be, but my work is currently messing me about a little bit and not giving me the 5 weeks notice they're supposed to do, but that's okay. I'm sure I'll figure that out at some point. So yes, join the Discord. You can get updates. You can go into like the rules channel and get like a little reaction roll, and you can get updates on whenever we do find out exactly who it's going to be, when it's going to be, and who and what we're going to be talking about whenever it goes up on YouTube, and also obviously when we actually go live, a little thing goes out as well, so you guys don't have to miss any Chattisfying. I really enjoyed doing it. It's fantastic to sort of make this thing, and I hope that it's useful information and it's interesting to listen to. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed it. If you're on YouTube, hello, you guys in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Wink.
You're such a cringe. You're a cringe lord. Jesus.
Ring the bell for no.
Ring the bell. That's right.
Don't do it.
Do all the things. Don't forget to thumbs up.
And don't forget to sign up to his Patreon.
I don't have a Patreon, but thank you.
I think it was OnlyFans.
That other guy did, by the way. Number 3 did.
Oh, did? Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
yeah, he has it actually written in there as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you.
I didn't want to mention it.
No, thank you guys so much. It's really been a pleasure. But, until now, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I guess hopefully we'll see you guys very soon. So, bye for now.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Chattisfying.